No, it's funny because we learned Destiny likes smoking pole too. There's video he's released, it's got leaked to him just sucking off people, probably Nick Fuentes and other people, who knows. No, I think Destiny preyed upon her. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, I can help you out, and oh, you're my friend, and we're in the end circle. I'm sure Destiny basically abused that. But right now, I'm assuming he's probably full of shit. I don't think he's got legal team because I just can't imagine it at this point.
Okay, we're only 10 minutes in. It's fine. Don't, guys. Trust me. I know what I'm doing. Okay, trust me. Trust me, guys. Trust me. Okay, trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me.
He really took aim to heart.
Trust me, guys. I know what I'm doing.
All right, so here we go. Here we go, chat. This is a lawsuit that's been filed in federal court. We ain't screwing around now, kids. We are not screwing around. We are in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Florida. La Floride, as my people might say. La Floride. The Southern District of Florida. Now, why are we in the Southern District of Florida? Well, that's where Stephen K. Bennell.
Okay, so this is potentially criminal. Also, we're mutuals on Twitter for some reason. I've got no idea why. Okay. Right? I think I've made a mistake. I think this will be funnier, and it will still be fair, even though he's very biased. I think we're okay to switch to this one. I'm sorry for the distraction. But also, I'm just, I guess, a bit concerned. I don't know if this is redacted or not. Fuck it. We're watching this one now. That's it. We're going ahead.
We have Jane Doe. So it's a complaint. And the nature of this action, I mean, they come right out the door. They come right out the door here. So they're seeking to hold the defendant accountable for his unauthorized, intentional, and unlawful disclosure and dissemination of intimate images and sexually explicit videos of the plaintiff, thereby causing the plaintiff extreme
Some things are an instant loss.
Very true. Thank you for the super chat.
Emotional and physical distress, depression, anxiety, and harm to her personal and professional reputation. They're seeking injunctive relief. And I'm surprised there hasn't been a temporary restraining order or an injunction filed on this matter. Because I think they can meet it. Because remember, guys, when you're filing a protection order, restraining order, you're going for a couple things. One, likelihood of success. Destiny's admitted to doing this. We have receipts of that. Two, is the harm irreparable? Yes. And the idea is Destiny probably will keep talking about this. And I'd want him to not mention this if I were Jane Doe. Three, the equities. They certainly balance in favor of that and the public interest. Yes, there's a public interest in not letting people do harassment and revenge porn to people. So I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I would have sought one because you guys pretty much have it. You pretty much have it right away here. Now, guys, this is just a civil thing. There is no criminal charges filed. At least yet. Who knows? The day is still young, chat.
Okay, also, actually, do you know what I'm realizing as well? This guy is actually fair. I remember what he spoke about. He was one of the only law tubers that I was like, fair play to you, my man. Because he spoke about the Alec Baldwin thing and was actually critical of the prosecution. And essentially was like, yeah, this is fair enough. Alec Baldwin gets to walk here. Obviously, he hates liberals or whatever, or communists. But he was like, well, yeah, they fucked up through the whatever the procedure thing they got wrong, And if he got the Raketa stuff right as well, like right to criticize, and then he was right about the legal time, then yeah, maybe. And also, I've seen him on Twitter repeating the point that Destiny's admitted to it, and I like that as well. So.
It's 5:30. It's on the East Coast. Nothing's going to happen now, but I'm just saying in just general terms, the day is still young. So it could happen. It could happen. Am I saying?
No. It's not to do with agreeing with me, right? Someone that's willing to go outside of their bias and say something that is against their political conception is demonstrating that there is a fairness to them that is worth considering, okay? Well, okay, anyway, listen, trust me, I think I made the right call here.
Yeah, well, maybe. So, the goal is only 30 minutes. I'm sorry, can I fix that? I didn't mean to do it for 30.
This guy's a total retard. Well, what's a good law tuber? Look, okay, we've already switched once, okay? Bro, we're getting silly here. This is bro, I want legal analysis on this situation, okay? Right? The only fucking way... there aren't any, except that black guy that you like. What's his name? He's pretty based, but I don't know if he's covered this yet.
Sorry. So, my bad, chat. Also, hey, mods, if you guys are out there, don't be afraid. If you see some funny comments or things, you can star stuff up so I have stuff in the chat queue ready to go. So don't be afraid to help me out here. As we keep moving, though, we see this. They want not only injunctive relief, but compensatory and punitive damages, which they'll get. Attorney fees are definitely going to get. And the only other relief this honorable court deems is just and proper. As a result, the defendant's unlawful and extreme and outrageous. And remember, chat, I say that because, as one of my professors in law school would say, it's outrageous. And you include it. And to be fair, this is outrageous conduct. And we're going to go through a lot of receipts. So there are ultimately things here that are not only common law claims, but also statutory claims. So they're bringing this under the Intimate Image Protection Act, which is 15 U.S.C. 6851, the sexual cyber harassment statute out of Florida. So it's federal law, and this is why we're in federal court. It's federal law. So we're automatically here. State court can't handle this. We're automatically federal court. Remember, chat, you could combine state law and federal law actions.
Okay,
into
this is not really interesting to me. We're skipping ahead.
And then there's supplemental jurisdiction over the claim. So ideally, and it sounds like Jane Doe is saying this happened where Destiny lives in Florida.
Okay, the jurisdiction stuff we know.
Well, this is for Destiny, Miami-Dade County, Florida, which that's also a very big help here. We both live here because the
we're skipping all this.
Stephen Kenneth Bonnell, the second.
Yeah, we know this. Jurisdiction stuff isn't in question.
Parties, we've done the jurisdiction. The jurisdiction is critical. Normally we kind of gloss over that because it's not important. But I just want you guys to see in this one what we're dealing with here and why we're looking at it. Why is that not working?
Guys, okay.
Discord.
Listen,
yes.
guys, I'm locked into this. Trust me, this is going to get good, okay? If you're not happy with this, you're going to have to go watch something else. This is about as good as it gets in terms of legal analysis on this. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anyone. I'm going to hopefully speak to Mario tomorrow. Maybe he can give me some insight. Other than that,
and Discord will be his undoing, chat. Destiny had over 700,000 followers on his Twitch channel before he was banned from Twitch in March 2022 due to hateful conduct. Yes. Yes.
Just wait for Henry. Henry is good at getting legal documents that are of interest in the public eye. But he's not a lawyer. He's not a legal professional. He's a layman. And I love Henry. Henry's my friend, okay? But I'm not going to go to him for legal analysis on this because he doesn't have the requisite knowledge or experience to actually do meaningful legal analysis on this, like at least some of these other guys do.
Some of you guys are asking questions here. Catnip Dave, we're going to get to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. All right.
Although he's right about burying gold.
The plaintiff, and this is where you're like, I didn't want to bring it up, but I forgot this was in here. The plaintiff is known online as Pixie. And yes, that is Pixie is the person that Destiny harmed here. Is also a live streamer as well as an influencer. Pixie has 15,000 followers on Twitch. On next to Twitch, she has 10,000 followers, which some of you guys might say that's not a lot. On Twitch, that's a shitload of people. The way Twitch would do payments and stuff like that for a long time was really, really, really
okay. See this?
At that time, Pixie was a new streamer in the same niche as Benil. Politics. Yes, left-wing politics. Left-wing politics. You might say suffer commies, and yeah, some commies doing the suffering, because that's what commies do. Approximately 2 years later, on or about September 12, 2020, after multiple conversations about consent and boundaries, apparently
this guy thinks everyone is a commie. It's crazy. You see throughout this, every single person on the left is some flavor of communist, apparently.
Apparently, Destiny did not understand the nature of the assignment. Apparently, Destiny did not understand the nature of the assignment. Pixie engaged in sexual relations with Benel, Destiny. Pixie was inexperienced and only had physical relations with one other person prior to Destiny. This was the only time Pixie and Destiny had sex. During this one occasion, Destiny recorded videos of Pixie and him engaging in sexual conduct. Les videos. Unbeknownst to Pixie, on or about October 4th, 2022, Destiny disseminated these electronic videos to a 19-year-old woman using the screen name Rose. Rose was a random fan of Destiny's Discord platform that reached out to him on Discord. Destiny had never met Rose. Despite knowing nothing about Rose and not even knowing her real name, Destiny shared the video to Rose without knowledge or consent of Pixie. And some of you might say, wow, that seems very specific. How do we know this? Because there are all kinds of fucking receipts.
Oh, no.
And what do we know? Because Destiny did it. And we know he did it because we have the chat logs. Discord is really good about that. And it's just like, you're just like, yeah. And here is a really good example of it. It's not the highest quality chat, but yeah, how do we know? Here you go.
Bro,
here you go.
He's going in.
Destiny says, I don't think I have much BJ stuff recorded. And Rose says it's fine. He says, oh, there was a girl once. She was
good.
young, so when she was kind of new and wasn't that good, but she would just hold on to me in the tongue and the head of a lot, which actually ended up feeling really good. But no, come shot, do you want that vid? And Rose says, oh my God, I would love to have it. No, it's funny because we learned Destiny like smoking pole too. There's video he's released, it's got leaked to him just sucking off people, probably Nick Fuentes and other people, who knows. But oh my God, I would love it. And Destiny sent the video. We literally have receipts of you doing this. We literally have receipts. Like, it literally fucking happened. And as Stringer Bell did say,
taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? What the fuck are you thinking, man?
Yes, we literally have proof he did it. We literally have proof he did it. Yes, we literally have proof
He's
this thing
cooking.
happened.
Told
we literally
you
have proof it
guys.
happened. So
Black
we're
people
gonna
can
keep going.
say
We're gonna
it.
go back to this. So like this thing here, big old check mark. It happened. It happened, chat. So like Destiny, I know you're out there. You might be like, oh, just fat guy. As your jaw starts, as you start tweaking, your jaw's like, you're doing the Vyvanse shuffle with your bottom jaw. You guys didn't know Destiny's on Vyvanse, and he's like, he's got the tweak going. You really need to settle like fucking ASAP, where you're gonna get literally. Look, and here's the thing: I say this, you're gonna get fucked in the ass. And here's the thing, Destiny, you might like the idea of getting fucked in the ass. You're like, I really want that. This isn't gonna be a fucking you're gonna enjoy. It does seem like you have some sort of humiliation fetish. So me telling you need to settle because you're gonna get absolutely destroyed, but you really need to settle. Also, for the sake of any of these orbiters you care about, you're literally gonna fucking destroy them. You're gonna destroy the commentary community and a lot of left-wing online politics. Wait, that's actually a good thing. No, Destiny, fight till the end. Burn all these commies down. I really need you to do that. I want to see them all suffer. I want you to take them all down. Yeah, why would you? Don't settle, Destiny. Pull a Nick Rekieta. Never settle, never surrender. Fight till the end. As the curtain falls, you need to be on the stage. Destroy left-wing politics altogether on the internet. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Yes. Oh. It's just don't settle. I don't want him to settle. We can't have him settle. I need everybody to suffer. I need the Destiny orbit to have their suffering become legendary even in hell. They just need it. So we're gonna get back to this though. We're gonna get back to this, chat.
I mean, obviously, yes, it is very funny. Okay, I'm glad we switched to this. You're seeing the vision now as well, right, of watching this. But I mean, the question is, putting aside obviously his bias against Destiny and commies, okay. Like, I find it hard pressed to believe that he would push or suggest even a settlement if that wasn't, like, in his opinion, the right move. Right? It's like, would this guy say that if he didn't believe it? I mean, it's possible. It's possible he just hates Destiny. But then I guess by that logic, if he hated Destiny, he would probably suggest the worst outcome in his perspective, which presumably, if he thinks they should settle, would be some sort of protracted legal, case. Like, yeah, it makes sense because his argument is, well, you've admitted to this, you've admitted to wrongdoing, so you should settle because you've admitted to it, and that's that, right?
Oh, yes. John and Jane Doe for £2 sterling.
Yes, he's a KF poster. Who cares? What does it matter? Literally doesn't make any fucking difference.
King Sterling says, I don't see an accredited study here, Sean. Yes, there is no accredited study. Here. Yes, I don't know if you could find any recommendation on Reddit. Go to r/legal advice. See if the Redditors will help you out. But don't take it from me. Oh, buddy. Debate your way out of this. I'm sure that Jesse's going to say, Your Honor, motion to debate opposing counsel. If I have a debate and I win, do I win? No, Destiny, there's no debating your way out of this, buddy. There's no debate.
Oh, dear.
We're going to keep moving.
That's rough. That's rough, man.
Oh. Yes, Destiny, you want the accredited study? I am the accredited study.
That was a bit cringe. Cringe.
I am the one. Well, Destiny would look at me and he's like, you talk about cucking, and Destiny will be like, I am the one who cucks. And then Nick will come over and be like, no, that's me. Don't steal my job. Okay. And I'm sure Nick and Destiny will sue each other for stealing each other's vibe.
The bit's run its course. Come on, get back to it now.
To be fair, the video in question has been peer reviewed. And some of you might say, what's going on? This is like Destiny 101, like debates.
He's
and then when you're Destiny, you're like, you win. That's another Destiny thing. So there we go. That's how Destiny stuff works. Oh. So here we go.
He's not a fan.
Here we go.
He's
We're
not a fan.
Keep going through this. On or about November 29, 2024, the sexually explicit video plaintiff that Benella shared with Rose was uploaded on the website Kiwi Farms. Yes, it made its way there. The video was also shared on multiple sites.
Oh, this is what we typed it either. Okay,
right. Porn Biz.
Okay, yeah, we get it. Come on, dude. We get it.
But it's been removed. On the
evening
of November 29th.
Yes.
So
okay.
right at, she's like, what the fuck are you doing, Destiny?
Bro.
She sent a message.
Dude, what are you supposed to do? He's got the unredacted version. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Expressing a word that he shared the video over. She asked him if he sent the videos to anyone, and he admits guilt, responding, there shouldn't be no. I'm so sorry. There's really no excuse. I had phone combos and stuff with this person. They were fairly close to me. It's worth to say at this point, but I'm super sorry. There's literally no excuse. Yeah. I mean, there you go, chat. And to think there were people, like, I'm sure political people are like, wait, I did an interview with this guy. That's really rough. That's the rough part about this, chat. You know, like politicians, we're seriously sitting down with this guy and talking about what they want to do for the Democrat Party in the aftermath of getting.
I mean, it's, you know, it's a public document at the end of the day. I just find it, you know, it's a bit. I just don't like the idea of like I went over an unredacted version. You don't have to do that. I'm not saying he has to do that. I'm just a bit. I mean, it's out there already. It's fucking public record at this point.
Absolutely BTFO'd by Donald Trump.
Anyway,
and instead they're just like, well, so I hung out with this guy who's a complete sex pest and disgusting human being. Yeah. Yes. Mario, buddy. God, it's been a shitty week. I kind of forgot about it. I'm going to give you a call.
Dude, bro. No, it's Mario. Delicious, bro. Mario's calling it delicious. Delicious for a plate. Yeah, lovely. Give me more. Lovely stuff. Delicious. Dude, that's so funny, man.
I'll give you a call tomorrow. We need to set up a time.
Wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
There he is.
Court filing pulled from the court in Miami. It's a public document. None of this was unknown.
Thank you for the $5. Okay, just to be clear, okay, I wasn't saying it's wrong to show it. It just makes me feel a bit like, ugh, you know. I went over a censored version. It's fine that you went over this. It's a public record. I get it. Anyway, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it.
Time to get down because not only Destiny, we got the Thor thing. We got to talk about. We got to work that. I am so sorry. I've been busy this week. That's my fault. Yes, but guys, Mario, great First Amendment attorney out in the Northeast doing God's work out there. Also, Mario, I don't know if you saw the newspaper that got an injunction down in Mississippi. Really fucked up against it from the city council that was fighting it. But yes, we have a confession, but we also have him actually doing it. Yes, this guy was invited to the White House. Yes, this guy was invited to the White House. Yes. Destiny's been on Piers Morgan. Yes, but Piers Morgan clowns the shit out of Destiny. Piers Morgan owns Destiny routinely, so.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, you know, it's one of those things where presumably the people that did the interviews from the DNC, you would have thought wouldn't have participated in a conversation had they known about this stuff. But I would presume that going forward, it's probably unlikely that these people are going to want to, you know, do this. I mean, this is now like a matter of public record. Whatever happens with this, I think that for the time being at least, there's probably not going to be many more, you know, Democrat operatives being discussed with Destiny, talking to Destiny.
Yeah. Freeman Bros are down hard. Yep. Yes, he had an interview with Jordan Peterson. Yep. Jordan Peterson's like, you're kind of fucked up. You're kind of fucked up, bucko. Watch your penis. You know, integrate your shadow, bucko. Clean your room. He didn't do it. He didn't take advantage of it. Oh. So, as we go here, though, the plaintiff then asked him to delete any and all videos he has of her. Problem is, the internet's forever, and that's a sad thing. That is a sad thing here. The link of the video goes viral and is being discussed by thousands of followers of Destiny and Pixie on various platforms, including YouTube, Discord, Le Reddit, the home of smart people, Kiwi Farms, the home of Nazis, and Twitter/X. She begins receiving hundreds of insulting and harassing messages because DGG is, yes, they should be wiped out like the Taliban.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Okay? I find it hard to disagree these days. I'm not gonna lie. Bro, these people are deranged. Just in my chat today, it's fine. I obviously, as always, come and fucking say your shit, okay? Unless I get really annoyed and ban you. But these people are deranged. They're like totally fucking deranged. They're like the last fucking Nazis. Like the last Nazis in Berlin. Desperately hoping that Hitler is going to come out with some grand plan to fucking win the war back. You know, it's literally that fucking scene in that movie where Hitler's like, Krebs, blah, 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 and saying all the German shit. And it's been memed to death now. But it's like that. It's like, bro, it's done. It's over. He's admitted to it. Like, no matter how it's stacked, you can try and twist any sort of legal determination or finding or how this spins out in a way to your benefit. But on a fundamental level, he has not only admitted to doing it, he's admitted to causing harm in doing it too. That is signed, sealed, delivered. And that's it. That's the end of it. Yeah, bro. Yes, indeed. Steiner, don't worry, guys. Steiner's going to relieve us. His forces are merging at the side now. He's going to come and relieve us at any point.
Followers began discussing leaks on different accounts, falsely claiming that Pixie had exchanged sex for professional growth in favors from Benel. No, I think Destiny preyed upon her. Wouldn't surprise me.
Whoa.
Oh, I can help you out, and oh, you're my friend, and we're in the end circle. I'm sure Destiny basically abused that at this point.
Oh my god!
What it looks like. He took advantage of a young girl because he had all the power. You know, he had the money. You know, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Right.
Or first you get the power, then you get the money, then you get the women. To quote Tony Montana. And Destiny did that. He
Well,
got the power, he got the money, and then he got the women.
I think there's a subtleness to how Destiny does it. Dude, it's difficult. It's difficult because obviously some of this stuff I'm like, I can't speak to the Pixie stuff because I haven't obviously seen the ins and outs of it. But there is a process here. It's not explicitly transactional, but I think there is like something in it. There's something in the kind of narrative that there's all these women who just so happen to come through and then they get on the stream. Yeah. Because it's the implication, exactly.
They took advantage of these women. Real fucking teenly. Because this we're going to get to it, chat. This isn't a one-off. This isn't a one-off. Pixie felt increasingly humiliated, mortified, and depressed. Yeah. And she started feeling suicidal. I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't fucking blame her. One fucking bit. I truly think it was awful. I truly think it was awful what was happening. I truly think it was awful. I can't imagine that happening. I just think about that. Can you imagine this happening to you? No. So on or about December 11th, she starts writing suicide notes. I 100% think that happened. And for Pixie, I hope she's able to get out of this in one piece. And the sad thing is she's never going to be as whole as she is before this happened. But hopefully she can get out of this in the best shape she can. Like I said, I don't agree with their politics, but what Destiny did to her is absolutely fucking pathetic.
Bro.
And it shouldn't have happened, and he should pay for it.
Yes. Sean is fair. Yes.
Plaintiff messages Benell and tells him she is just tired of living anywhere. It's a matter of time until my family discovers what happened. I feel just like the best thing for me to do is kill myself and schedule a post just detailing my feelings on what happened to try to ensure a situation like this doesn't happen again. You can't really blame her for thinking like that. Plaintiff then unfriends Destiny on Discord, so she can't receive any more messages from him. Plaintiff then meets, Pixie meets with Destiny's close friend and business associate, Kyla Turner, with a screen.
Oh. So there was literally no reason to block this out. I thought it was like, I was thinking, oh God, is it going to be her address or some crazy shit? It's just her name, which is like out there already, is it not?
Name on Twitter, Not So Erudite. Yes, Erudite. Yes, Not So Erudite.
That's wonderful.
God, I just
But
butchered
how
that
do
like a
I
fucking
make
kick.
money
Yes,
off
Not So
depressed
Erudite. Yes.
people?
This is who
guy
does
is
Bridges with
entertaining,
Destiny.
even though he
And
would
you can see all
probably
these fucking...
call me a commie. Also, new goal, you lazy limmy.
Thank you for the super chats. Dude, bro, this guy thinks that anyone to the fucking left of Adolf Hitler is a fucking commie, okay? This guy is calling everyone a commie. This guy's commie crazy.
Fucking people, chat, all the orbiters. This is costing him so much fucking money. It's costing him so much money and so much clout. So much clout and so much money.
Red Scare. He's like that fuck, what's his name?
Pixie tells her about the thoughts and she can't bear the humiliation and harassment she's enduring, and she wants to make sure that Destiny never does this to anyone else again. Kyla says she'll talk to Destiny and tell them what they
Well, I voted Labour, so presumably I'm a commie as well. And that's fine, I get it, okay? I mean, Labour are a traditional left-wing Labour party, so I get it. But they're not really communist, they're not really mean. I mean, they're very centrist these days. McCarthy, he's like McCarthy. He's saying communists everywhere.
So Erudite messages Pixie if Destiny has communicated with her or had her back as a friend. Pixie says no. She continues to feel depressed and suicidal, as one would. As one would. The leak of the video is still a viral topic of conversation on multiple platforms, with people making horrible accusations about Pixie. Yeah, and this is the situation, chat. Pixie did nothing wrong. On two videos on YouTube are posted by different streamers discussing the Pixie leak. The videos include screenshots of private messages of Pixie discussing the situation with friends, and claims that Pixie took hush money, only cares about money, and does not care about the other victims of Destiny. Yes, chat, there are other victims. Other victims. Other victims, chat. Other victims. Other victims. These videos have been viewed by thousands, including one today, which has been viewed by over 90,000 people. Oh, there's a shitload more than that. The majority of posts by people assume that Destiny shared the videos with his consent and knowledge. Now, I think this is meant to be that's meant to be Pixie's consent and knowledge, because the video obviously was shared with his knowledge. That's just you're typing and you put the wrong name in. That's like I said, I'm not going to sit there and dog the guy. I'm not going to dog the guy. I'm not going to dog the guy for okay, so Thomas Fitzpatrick says Pixie had sex with Destiny. What are you talking about? She did nothing wrong. Okay. That was like of all, like, that's not actually a wrong thing. Yes. Sitting there with some goofy little weird man like Destiny, you're like, oh, I want to have sex with him. I'm sure Destiny's a sweet talker. I'm sure he can sweet dick a woman and sweet talk him very well. A lot of manipulative scumbags can do that. They're very good at sweet talking women.
This guy.
I'm sure he sweet talks a lot of women.
What the fuck? He's fair. He's very fair.
So, yes, he's got that Adderall Riz, the Vyvanse Riz. The way he moves his jaws horizontally is the women must love it. So, on or about January 20th, 2025, in desperation, Pixie goes online and announces that Destiny shared the videos without her consent or knowledge, and she will be seeking legal recourse. That same day, Destiny responds on platforms, including Reddit and Imager, and falsely claims a video leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. Remember, chat, we know that's a fucking lie. We know that's a lie. Because he did it. Like, we literally know he did it.
Bro,
We literally know he did it. It's a lie. The claim contradicts his November 29th written admission to Pixie that he knowingly and intentionally shared the video to Rose.
See, but that's the thing, isn't it? This is that dishonesty coming in where it's the leak refers to the solo aspect, but it doesn't speak to his own action or behavior. So he's talking specifically about the solo stuff. But it is deceptive because, well, what about you sending it? That's what was... And at no point, even in the most recent video, he swerved it again. At no point has Destiny engaged with, spoken about, or talked about the core claims in question. Even on today's stream, it was, oh, maybe I can talk about that tomorrow. And then he diverts to, you know, oh my God, yeah, but everyone's calling me all the terrible names under the sun. And it's like, okay, but what about the core claim? He says he's the biggest victim. Dude, it's fucking wretched.
Consent. And you know the best part, chat? Look what day it happened. For somebody like Destiny as his jaw. I didn't watch his inauguration stream, but I'm sure his jaw just going back and forth, just oscillating. He probably almost fell off. January 20th, 2025. The Emperor of Mankind's inauguration as he reascended to the golden throne.
I think this guy might be a Trump guy, I'm not sure. I think he might be somewhat pro-Trump, not 100% on that. But funnily enough, I don't think Destiny did a inauguration stream. I watched the inauguration because I was off and I thought, what's this all about? And I gotta say, you guys are not doing it right. You need more robes and fucking gold shit and stuff like that. You're very need more ceremony and stuff, I think. But anyway, I don't think he ended up streaming about it. Did he? I think he just like, you know, he just went radio silent for like a day because it was all fucking popping off.
Yes. On January 20th. So right after she announced that she would sue, one of his followers reached out to Pixie and told her that Destiny had sent the video to her sister about 2 months earlier. The follower informs Pixie that she believes Destiny is still sending his sister sexually explicit videos of other women without their consent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. On January 21st,
Okay, that's wonderful.
aware of an impending
How do I
lawsuit and
make
potential criminal
money
investigation,
off depressed
Destiny
people?
starts destroying
Looks
evidence.
like Gabe Newell's brother.
I think it's where he gets into the
Throws out
stuff.
Advance Riz. Guy's the goat.
Thank you for the super chat. I'm pretty sure this stuff is like no bueno big time when it comes to legal stuff. You get fucked, basically. Oh dear.
You stupid. You stupid motherfucker. You stupid motherfucker. Stupid motherfucker. God, Destiny. God, you are really the dumbest of the dumb here. Yeah, it's consciousness of guilt. But here's the other thing, chat. The fact you destroy evidence, because there's going to be discovery. A negative inference will be read to the jury. The judge will say, the plaintiff has destroyed evidence, or I'm sorry, the defendant has destroyed evidence. You are allowed to make an inference that evidence would have been able to show that he did, in fact, commit these torts against Pixie. And they can use this as a negative inference.
Okay. That's what I was
It's a
talking
very
about
strong
earlier.
thing, chat. And I'm not saying that Pixie's attorney talked about. The court is going to read that instruction to the jury if it ever gets this far. The court will have to say that, and it will be supported.
Can't they subpoena Discord for the logs? I'm fairly certain that Discord, it gets deleted. I don't think even Discord can access deleted logs, but they can access when things having been deleted, I think. And yeah, the question becomes, well, the argument is the reason... Oh, do they? They keep... Okay, I got that wrong. My mistake. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, no, dude. Wait a second. Fuck. What's the date? What's the date today? Oh, fuck. Okay, fair enough. I got that wrong. I take the L on that. So they are accessible for a certain period of time. But then after that, they're gone forever, which is, I guess, how it works with most platforms.
There's also evidence. Destiny, honey. Steve and Kenneth Bennell II. Steve from Omaha. If there's a crime that's also known as evidence tampering or obstructing justice, that's not a good thing. You can really get in trouble for that. That's a separate crime. This is free legal advice. Don't commit more crimes. You're just fucked. Just saying. He deleted messages between Destiny and Pixie. On January 23rd, Destiny receives a letter from plaintiff's counsel informing him the intent to sue and demand he preserve all evidence. It's also known as a preservation letter. Oh boy. Thunderstruck says, with the destruction of anything criminal law, yes. Evidence tampering.
Bro, I don't want to just read the paper. I understand. I think some of his stuff he says is funny, okay? Some of the stuff is funny. But on top of that as well, he is giving some legal insights, which I think are worthwhile. Like, You know, this is the problem with all these lawsuits. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm certainly not a fucking lawyer in America, you know, and it's all fucking state-based, and I just want a little bit of a taste of what people are saying about this. And having watched a few videos, I can assure you that yes, this seems to be the broad consensus amongst all of them. The only problem is we don't have a fucking lefty legal guy to speak on this, you know? Is there still evidence tampering if the logs are accessible by Discord? I would presume so, because the act that you're engaging in is the same. You know, you're engaging in an act, regardless of whether or not it's accessible in another fashion. You have done that thing. It's like if you burn a piece of paper, and because you're trying to destroy evidence, and it gets found in a fucking trash can later, you've still burnt it with the intent to destroy it. You know, that's my guess.
Obstructing justice. Mm-hmm. Depending on how it's worded in Florida, that could be bad for Destiny if they pursue criminal charges against him for revenge porn. Because as Aaron Imholt learned for the CLTO Morning Show, that is a crime. That is a crime in many states, including Florida. So yeah. Oh. Yes, John and Jane Doe say, did I read an accredited study that destruction of evidence is a crime? No, I did not. No, I did not. I'm sorry, chat. I don't have any studies to back up what I'm talking about here. They're not peer reviewed. So all the Voshites, all the DGGers, everybody in the orbit, I got nothing for you except a law degree here. Sorry. But yes, this is known as a preservation letter saying, you know, literally you write it out. We are intending to sue you. You know, we intend to commence litigation. This is meant for you to please hold all documentation and not destroy anything.
Listen, okay, look, this is what the righties say, okay? This is what the righties say about all the commies, about they must still have a fucking study, all right?
Further. This is a literal thing. It's literally a thing. No, Destiny's not going to Wikipedia his way out of it. And that is the one thing I will say about Destiny from seeing on the clips of him where he has to reach down Wikipedia. Like, God, he really doesn't know that. Like, Wikipedia is a great source to learn, but he has to learn so much. He doesn't know a whole lot. But there you go. Yeah. Anyways, on or about January 23rd, but Destiny begins to publicly harass and defame Pixie. He posted his group chat called DGG with multiple people that Pixie is just after his money. Well, guess what? She's coming after your fucking money now, homie. And guess what? You do wrong by people, they normally want financial recompense. So yeah, she's after your money because you can't take your fucking soul. Ooh. I'm sure she'd like to cut your dick off, but we're not allowed to do that as recourse. So yeah.
See,
she's coming to fucking take it, as well. And you better fucking give it up.
You guys need to chill out.
On or about January 23rd, Destiny also posted on his website, Destiny.gg, and in his DGG chat, that Pixie and the people behind her just want money, so there's no point in going after the hacker. He's probably some broke loser anyway, so they aren't even mentioning him. Over 1,000 people.
Yeah, I can see it here. I'm not going to read through it because it's a bit dry, but yes. So it looks like Discord accepts requests and preserves records pursuant to 18 USC 2073F, which presumably is the federal thing, I guess, or something, or something like that. It must be federal, right? Required disclosure of customer communications or records, but that's from a governmental entity. So, in any case, it seems like Discord have got some sort of process with which to, permit requests for evidence and subpoenas. I would presume falls in with that in some fashion, right?
But how do I make money off depressed people?
No lefty lawyer is touching this. No chance. There isn't a broom that's big enough.
Think of the £5
would block out the sun.
Yeah, but what lefty lawyers are there that would talk about this sort of thing? What lefty lawyers spoke about, like, Johnny Depp, for example? I just don't know if there's lawyers that whose meat and potatoes is covering this sort of drama, you know?
Potentially view this defamatory post. Oh, buddy. Oh. Destiny's attempt to divert blame from himself and cast blame on an alleged hacker is directly contradicted by his own prior explicit written admission that he shared the videos, and by his text message with Rose in which he tells her, the young girl, that he will send her. Once again, chat, yes. Oh, it's a hacker! Okay. The other thing here, chat, I will say, look at this attorney, look what he did. It's justified alignment. This here, though, this orphan, can't do orphans, chat.
Legal. See, legal is an annoying libtard, I get that. But he's also not someone that would have, like, a propensity to sweep for Destiny. I don't think he's, like, done that before, so... I mean, I just don't think it's in his wheelhouse. He tends to be, he's obviously every video is about how terrible Trump is at the moment, right? Which is fine. Trump bad, guys, but it's like, I don't know if he would, like, necessarily cover something like this. Certainly not to this level.
Control-Enter, start a new, put it on the same page. Destiny continues defaming and harassing Pixie. He implies that Pixie is trying to milk him. Well, Destiny all knows about milking. He can milk some wieners. And that she is not going after anybody else that might allegedly have been involved in the leak because she can't milk as much money.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yes, Pisco condemned Destiny, but he didn't talk. He specifically said he can't talk about this because of some sort of like conflict of interest, more or less. So it's like, I don't know. It just feels like there isn't any lefty that would. There isn't like a big component of lefty lawyers on YouTube, as far as I can tell. And the ones that are probably focused on, you know, like bigger ticket stuff, I would guess.
Money on those targets. Goon the like button, chat. That's the only time you'll ever hear me positively tell you to goon something. In and around the end of January 2025, approximately 15 women reached out to Pixie to tell her they received explicitly images from Destiny of other women without that women's consent. 3 of these women also tell Pixie that Destiny deleted their chat threads after January 23rd. It's like a serial revenge pornographer. He's a serial revenge pornographer, chat. It's like, huh. And we do have these tweets. Pixie said she's received countless messages from women saying it was made without their consent, that she wants the DMs. We also have Cherry. Cherry, another Destiny orbiter, says, today I was made aware of an intimate audio recording taken of me without my consent. And I was shared without my consent. Now, this is just audio. It's not video. But that's still fucking awful. Absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. So, yes, and we have other people here. And if you guys have never seen this before, this is Lauren De Laguna. Yes, chat. That Lauren De Laguna. That Lauren De Laguna. Yes, the same one you've seen on Reputational, or as I knew of her, through Chili DeCastro. Remember, she actually gave Chili DeCastro the complete nut job of
calling them all Destiny orbiters. I mean, well, they have been at least. I mean, you know, the point of calling them Destiny orbiter is not to smear them in any way. It's just to say they have had some sort of connection to Destiny, you know, which I think is reasonable. And that's how some of these things came to pass, is from that close connection.
Sovereign citizen airtime. And then seeing her in Destiny's orbit, I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, what? What was this?
Yes, and we have other people here. And if you guys have never seen this before, this is Lauren De Laguna. Yes, chat. That Lauren De Laguna. That Lauren De Laguna. Yes, the same one if you've seen on Necrocada, or as I knew of her, through Chili DeCastro. Remember, she actually gave Chili DeCastro the complete nut job of sovereign citizen airtime. And then seeing her in Destiny's orbit, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah. Anyways, here we go. As said, a lot of people knew, chat. This was an open secret, apparently, in the orbits.
You got chat talking about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got getting more I never really heard about
They keep saying that you smashed Destiny. Is that true? Look at the Destiny here.
I hate Destiny. I fucking hate that.
Whoa, we answer the question here.
Okay, dude, this is the annoying thing, right? I'm not having a go at anyone that's doing this. I get it. I do get it, right? And this clip is a terrible clip because it's like at a party, drunk, like it's not a meaningful, serious statement, right? Like, it's tricky. I can understand why people dismiss this out of hand, because it's like, well, what am I even supposed to get from this? It's some fucking woman at a party, drunk, saying a bunch of shit, right? But now, with everything that's happened, I think that I think it's unreasonable to just be like, oh, well, this person is just like clearly wanting a relationship with Destiny and blah, blah, blah. Because it's like, well, now hang on a sec. Like, regardless of what a shitter she is, what she said was correct. And I think that she was actually saying something meaningful and true here, and it got dismissed out of hand. And obviously Destiny, I think, responded to this and had some comments about it, and it got hand waved away. But it's like, at the time, sure, I can understand not taking this seriously. But looking back, it's like, well, she was correct, and she was speaking to something real. I don't know, I would have believed her. Okay, dude, this is woman cope, okay? This is total fucking woman cope, right? Some people didn't believe, and that's fine. But it's like, you know, it's two parts. It's the way it's expressed is obviously not good because it comes across in the wrong way. And then obviously it's the kind of smearing aspect of like acting like Lauren some crazy bitch when she was saying something that was true, you know? That's the point.
We spent for a long ass time, and then he fucks me over multiple fucking times.
Hasn't that guy fucked over?
He secretly forced women into the market. It's a fucking federal. It's a felony.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
a
horny.
felony. No, he's a piece of shit. I mean, that is.
Yes, Destiny. She says Destiny records women. Oh no. Oh no, chat. Yes, fuzzy creatures.
You're mischaracterizing Sammy. She didn't fall for that Pinier Batak woman. She did it the first, yeah. She did it first. That's okay.
Oh, you fucked him, didn't
It
you?
happens.
Yeah, pretty sure. Lawrence Southern won.
I get it.
Total Canadian victory. Steve Worski, PPP. You guys got a dub. You lost in the hockey game, but Lawrence Southern brought you a dub.
Bro, crazy, insane, delusional, mad, deranged, crazed, unstable, loony, crazed, wild, nutty, mental, loopy, screwy, wacky, unhinged, batty, absurd, odd, strange, weird, mentally ill, schizo, hysterical, emotional, crazy, insane, unhinged, delusional, mad, deranged, crazed, unstable, weird, crazed, wild, mental, wacky. That just comes across like the kind of thing like some woman would have on a t-shirt, you know? Like when they're like, I'm a witch. I'm a witch, actually, or something. God, dude. I fucking hate women so bad, dude.
Oh, no, chat. Oh, no. JonTron got the dub. Yes, chat. Evergreen.
But in this case, they've got a point. The point being, every single woman that's got something bad to say about Destiny after the fact, when they crash out of the orbit, is labeled as some sort of crazed, deranged bitch. And it's two parts. One is the fact that it's every woman. So either Destiny is just happening to have all these women that turn out to be crazy, or it's a smear job. And then, just because someone is crazy doesn't necessarily mean that what they're saying is incorrect or untrue. And you should assess it, you know, based on the information and evidence and all that stuff. Okay? Anyway, let's continue.
Evergreen, JonTron's dub. And I think people got mad at JonTron. Oh. Yeah. So, chat, isn't it great we can do all this? And, like, there's just... I've never, like, think about this case. We've got this case, and I could bounce from receipt to 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 receipt like this. Isn't this fucking hilarious? Like, you've never had this kind of, like, this, like, Destiny's the most incriminating motherfucker in his life. He, like, literally, you never get this. Like, beforehand, this was, like, guys, all I did was went on the farms and just pulled link tab, link tab, link tab, link tab, link tab. It's been there forever. Just absolutely. Isn't this funny? We never get this ability where I could just go from boom, 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 post like that. I never can. I never have this ability. But we have it. And then a real quick chat, because I need to address it because this person dropped in here. We'll get to the other super chats in a second, but this is important, chat. We've got Stephen Cooper coming in at the top row with 20 subs. Let's go, chat. Let's go. And speaking of that, let's get some subs. I will be on with PPP and Worski 9:15 tonight.
Yeah, also, this is another good point as well. Wouldn't it be crazy if someone was fucking with you? Look at the Anna situation. Like, revisiting. I mean, I've spoken to people who are not even, like, not in the space necessarily, but I know what I know. And it's like, you know, like, it's just this idea that that person is crazy. Well, of course they're going to be crazy if you're getting pulled between pillar and post with all these different fucking things being fed into you. One day you're getting fucking sexted. The next day you're getting called a fucking crazed stalker on stream. That's going to turn anyone fucking crazy. And that's going to stack on top of any pre-existing mental illnesses that exist, you know?
And for those of you guys who watch me, all that, we are going to be discussing the SCOTUS filings for Trump and Hampton Dellinger starting at about 7:10. So just so you guys are around, we're going to get through that, and then we're going to go over and hang out with PPP and Worski. Dude, we're fucking hitting it all cylinders tonight. We're just getting after that, chat. We are getting after that bag. But anyway, Stephen Cooper with 20 subs. Praying the gray away here, chat. We are praying the gray away. And he's doing his part, chat. Are you doing your part?
For the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part. Are you?
That's right, chat. Join the mobile infantry and get Planet Gray pacified. Pacified, chat. Yes.
I need to put more effort into my stuff, honestly.
So anyways, we're going to keep
Is
going.
this
Let's
what
keep
you want from
going.
me?
Moving on from this. Back to Destiny being a complete piece of shit as a human being. Let's get back to that. Upon information and belief, multiple women, including Melina Gorison, his ex-wife, Stasia, have recently come forward and said that Destiny has released sexually explicit videos of them without their consent. Upon information and belief, these images were then posted on different pornography websites without their consent. Oh. A woman with a screen named Sherry recently found out that he had made an unauthorized audio recording of their interactions and had distributed it to people without their knowledge. Destiny has retaliated against Cherry by publicly posting private messages during a time when she was suffering a mental health crisis. Yes, DGG, Destiny, god-awful gooner. That's what that means. This was the guy, guys. All these people, the left, the political left, he was getting integrated in the political
that's
left.
Wonderful. But how do I make
All
money off depressed people?
You will never have enough talent to even lick PPP and Andy's boots. Using sector assets and won't even acknowledge the goats.
Thank you for the $5. I don't know what that's in relation to, but thank you for the $5. Potentially we're willing to chat. Go on and chat. Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, definitely willing to talk to him. I mean, if he's available now, we could bring him on and save you guys all the trouble of this horrendous comedy that you hate so much. I'm not talking about politics though, dude. I'm not getting into the fucking politics shit, man. Okay, sorry, one sec. Okay, he's gonna come on, and I can ask him some questions. Okay. Anyway, we'll keep watching.
All this was happening, and
while
these
we're
people
waiting.
linked up with him. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. On or about January 23rd, Destiny began a smear campaign against Pixie and tells his followers Pixie's only interested in getting money from him. Over 1,000 followers could have seen his post. He also tells his followers the only crime is being too much of a gooner. No, your crime is that you're a reprehensible human fucking being, Steve. And I'm sure if you see this, you're like, who's a fat guy? I'm like, I'd rather be me every day of the week than you, homie. I'd rather be me every day of the week than you. The word gooner is slang for someone who's deeply engaged in excessive adult X-rated content consumption, sometimes in a compulsive or obsessive manner. Yes. Yes. I love how they have to explain that because the judge is going to be like, what's a gooner? Oh. Moving on from there. Oh, hold on here, chat. On or about January 24th, another female political streamer talks about Destiny sharing the videos. She informs her followers that Destiny had recorded a conversation with her without her knowledge or consent. She alleges that after the relationship deteriorated, he became publicly hostile towards her, and then later posted to his followers he had a recording and that he could publish it. Once again, chat, this is like, people know about this stuff. And yes, he told his followers and all the DGG, all those fucking people were like, no, this is okay. This is all right. This is all right. Then on February 9th, after posting a link to the clip.
Yeah, I think when it first dropped, when it very first dropped, it was like, well, was there consent for this? It was a bit more confused, I think. But then I think as the extent of it became clear, and it was, you know, the amount of people that were involved, you know, I think it soon became clear that it was a lot more widespread, and there's no way, like, there's no way you can reasonably argue all these people consented, you know? Hello? Okay. What? Is this actually... Okay. You're not on screen yet.
Yeah.
I've got a weird angle.
No, sorry. It is me. Yeah, it is me. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's fine. Okay. You know what people are like, right? The trolls. Okay.
Yeah, no, I understand. I was just trying to get ready because I got home from court, so I was
Okay, so you're actually doing actual law stuff as well as the YouTube.
Yeah. I'm a practicing attorney.
Because that's the criticism they make of you LawTube guys. You're raking in the super chats and then not actually practicing law. That's a Recator thing, right?
Well, yeah, that's a Nick thing. But then there's quite a few that used to, that don't anymore. They've been able to do this full time. But yeah, that's a Nick thing as far as really not practicing.
Okay, so I mean, I've actually watched some of your stuff before, so I'm somewhat familiar with your work. With the Recator stuff,
I appreciate that.
is how I found out about you.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people found out about me that way.
Yeah, and
experience.
No, sure. I mean, I think, you know, not to... I mean, well, first of all, just in case people don't know who you are, do you want to introduce yourself and we'll go from there?
Yeah. My name's Sean. I'm also known as Potentially Criminal. I am an attorney licensed in the state of Ohio. And do a lot of criminal defense work, hence the name. So
okay.
Yeah,
What percentage
cover all kinds of legal stuff.
What percentage of your clients are black?
Kind of ebbs and flows, but I'd say at least, 30%.
Interesting. Okay.
But I also practice. I don't practice like Cleveland's the big city near me. But I practice there a little bit. But I practice in some more rural areas, so it's mainly white people out there. Well, I'm not gonna lie, that's worth not a lot of black Amish people in that area.
Anyway, before we get into this Destiny stuff, I mean, whilst you're on the call, I don't want to praise you too much. It gets a bit kind of gay.
No, I get it. Fair enough.
But one thing I did want to say, and the reason that I thought your coverage was good, is because you were one of the people that I think early on were willing to kind of criticize Recator when other people, not to speak ill of your colleagues, but like Uncivil Law, I think, was kind of on the sweeping train early on and got off. But you seem to see through that quite quickly.
Yeah, but I will say in Kurt's defense on civil law, he really, I don't think there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking somebody at their word and believing them. And then once he realized, okay, that was all horse crap, he completely realized it was horse crap. That's one thing. There were some people doing straight up sweeping for Nick, and they know who they are. So, but I wouldn't consider Kurt sweeping too much. At the beginning, I get it. It's somebody you've known for a long time. Oh, this
Yeah.
can't be it. And it's like, I see this like a million times. It happens all the time. Like none of that was surprising to me as it all unfolded.
Yeah, and another thing that people have said, I've not seen this myself, but apparently you were able to kind of discern, and I guess pushing back a bit against this narrative that Recator was going to go to jail. Is that
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, a lot of people want to see him go to jail just for the lulz, and putting Nick in jail would be hilarious. But yeah, he's a first-time offender. He's in a rural area. Not gonna lie, being white helps too. He's a man, and it is what it is. I'm not gonna beat around the bush on that. Yeah, all those things. We don't generally want to put people in prison. We don't want to incarcerate them. I don't think we should. I think overall we should try to figure out a way to help people without doing that to them, because ultimately it doesn't do anything for them at the end of the day. And then they get out and they don't really have anything that helps them going forward.
That's interesting because I think often, particularly on the right, the perspective is, law and order, lock them away, that's going to solve everything. But you seem to have a kind of more rehabilitative perspective, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people who do need to go to prison, but it's not as many as we think it is.
Yeah, sure.
And also, people on the right, everybody likes to send people to prison till the tax bill comes due. And also just, I've seen so many people getting hosed by the system. It's not fair, and people who have been, they've been to prison, they've been to jail a bunch of times, and they weren't really given an opportunity. And then that's all that ends up happening to them is every time they run into problems, automatically back to jail or back to prison. And then we have a shocked Pikachu face that they can't do anything but go back to jail or prison as their job.
Interesting. Okay.
So.
And then on the other side of it as well, there's one more thing I saw of yours actually, and it was you, I guess, agreeing with or like defending the situation with the Alec Baldwin case where the prosecution had fucked something up tremendously and it got tossed.
Oh yeah, no, that 100% should have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I am not a fan of a lot of things the government does. I generally don't like how they handle stuff. What they did to him, that was the right decision. That was the right decision. Now, Alec Baldwin was able to have snazzy attorneys and, millions of dollars, and that's what you get is a really good attorney who can stay on top of all of this. But whether it was Alec Baldwin or it was like me or you, and I know you're not in America, but, anybody else should have got that same outcome, but we probably wouldn't have.
Right.
I think a lot of that is because it was Alec Baldwin.
Okay. Interesting. So this Destiny coverage then, right? You probably didn't see my commentary before, but I was just kind of wanting some legal analysis on this. And I didn't.
Well, I've watched your stuff before though, so
Okay,
I
cool.
do enjoy
Okay.
it. I do enjoy listening.
we
Also,
go.
I don't think you're a commie. I wouldn't be throwing you out the helicopter.
Okay.
You're actually a pretty good guy. You can vote for labor. You can vote for the Democrats. That's not a problem for me.
Okay.
No,
fair enough. It's just because obviously watching your coverage, and obviously I do this too. You have a provocative kind of like angle to it that isn't necessarily your exact belief. So I'm assuming when you're talking about every Destiny orbiter being a commie, it's obviously a bit of a performance, I'm guessing.
Well, a little bit, but it's also easier just to classify it that way. I mean, most of them are left. A lot of them are progressive, and
yeah, sure.
A lot of them would think I'm a Nazi. So kind of is what it is.
No, because the thing is that it wasn't even an issue. But I watched yours and Uncivil Law and your coverage. I was like, okay, this is funny, but can I trust that the legal insights that you're giving are what you'd actually say, or do you just fucking hate Destiny? Do you see what I mean?
Well, I mean, I love nothing more than to see somebody like Destiny who treats people poorly get what's coming to him, and I don't like him. But there's also, like I said, I don't like Nick Recator, but I said from day one, here's how it's gonna go, and then it literally went the way I said it was gonna go. There's no point in me telling you. It's also like a lot of the Trump stuff. I could sit there and gas you up and say the Emperor of Mankind's going to run the table. The Supreme Court's going to say, Donnie, you're our boy. We love you. 9-0. That's not going to happen. I'd rather tell you what's really going to happen because it's what I do with my clients out in the real world. I'm not. There's no point in me lying to you because then you're going to get mad at me, number one. Number two, I also don't like lying. Like telling you what the law is and telling you what things are, you can then govern yourself accordingly. And I don't want people having a shocked Pikachu face if they can avoid it. Because at least then you can properly plan and, also nobody likes surprises and those kind.
Yeah, sure. So I guess getting into the details then, you seemed pretty certain that him settling was the best outcome and the correct decision. What's your kind of thought process there?
I mean, what's he gonna do? Like, there's no other choice. Like, he admits to doing it. There's a lot of proof he's done it. There's no, if he had the smoky gun of, let's say, Pixie had said, actually, you know what, share it with everybody. I want I want everybody to see how awesome I can screw. Like, let's say that was out there. He would have already shown that. You wouldn't hold that trump card till the lawsuit gets filed and you got to pay attorneys. You would have dumped that on the table to start with. He's got nowhere to go. And these types of lawsuits, this doesn't normally happen. I'd have to say, yeah, a lot of this sounds like it's up in the air. She's making claims, but where's the proof of this? We're going to have to see in discovery. We have it already. Like, it's already been prepackaged for us. Like, we could find all of it. And like I know people don't like the farms, but there's no better repository of information that, aside from the comments, just click the highlights and you could find really good curation of, information. It was all there. And I don't know there's nothing he can do. Like, all of his comments during it and then the things afterwards. Like, he inflicted emotional distress upon this woman. And he's got no other option, because if he goes to trial and he gets taken, like, he goes in front of a jury, they're going to light him on fire. And once that happens, then everybody's going to, all these other women are going to come after him. Settling is the best thing. Have her settle, non-disclosure agreement, and then try to fight the rest of them. But the problem for him is he's already deleted a lot of stuff.
But how do I make money?
If none of that's
off
recoverable,
depressed people?
they're going to go after him. It's like, look, he's already been deleting evidence left and right. And maybe some of them are lying about what happened, but, you're now dealing with Destiny, who he's lied and destroyed evidence. So he can't say, oh, wait, there really isn't any evidence here. It's like, you destroy all this other evidence. How do we know? He's set himself up for failure here. I don't see how he gets out of this, because, he says, he says Pixie wanted $15 million. And then they said, in the next breath, oh, now she's down to 150,000. I'm like, there ain't no way that's happening. There's no way they went from that high to that low. I just don't see where he's going to get anything that he's going to have to show she's lying.
Right.
And that this didn't happen. And he can't show that. So there's nowhere, like, this is like if you're the insurance company and the truck driver was drinking and driving and playing on his phone and was an illegal alien. Like, there's no getting out of this. You're going to have to just write the check. And Destiny's just going to have to write a check, man. He goes to trial, he's done. If he starts getting depositions and discovery, that's all going to crash and burn. Like, like I said, I use them as orbiters, because otherwise most people in my side of things don't know who Cherry, Lav, they know who, like, Pisco is, and that's about it. But, like, everybody else, you don't know who they are, but he knows there's a lot of people in his orbit. Those people are going to start getting deposed. They're going to be like, what did you know? What did you hear? And they're going to imagine a lot of those people having to sit in front of a camera and get deposed, or they're going to have to be called as witnesses. But as Destiny said, he claims he's got his hand on a dead man's switch, and he's willing to clack it off if things get too rough for him. So, and he says he's going to take everybody down. And it's like, for me, I'm just like, oh boy, I can't wait.
Well, have you not got any skeletons in your closet, eh? Not worried?
No. Anything I've ever really done, I've always made it clear about. So no. So I'm a pretty boring guy.
No. Okay, boring is obviously generally quite good in the online world. Another line of this I think has come directly from Destiny's lips. But what do you make of this kind of criticism that Pixie is a money grabber because the original settlement request was asking for $15 million?
I mean, that's like, okay, great. She's grubbing for money. Like, she's asking for a lot of money, because why shouldn't she? She can ask for $100 million. I'm not going to sit here and say, if she values the harm and damage to her and the punishment she wants to inflict on him, okay. I mean, I would rather she ask him for $15 million than her dad show up with an axe handle and beat Steven into a coma. I mean, I would rather she do it this way, and she has every right to play hard and fast. She holds all the cards. She holds the high ground. Sorry, when you're she's got her boot on his neck. She's dictating the terms. He's got no other choice but to acquiesce.
I mean, is there not any occasion where you might look at like a civil case and look at the amount being requested and have a criticism or an issue with that based on the claims made, say, or something like that?
I mean, there are times where that will happen, but in this situation, I don't, Destiny could say, fine, how about 7? And I'm sure Pixie will say, done. But I'm sure Destiny's not willing to give her a dime.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bigger thing for Destiny. If he was, if he came to her with a reasonable offer, I'm sure she would accept it. But what Destiny's idea of reasonable is, like, maybe he thinks probably, like there were the comments where he's like, oh, I'll pay for therapy, or maybe I'll give her money to go to law school. She's not settled for a couple $100,000.
Yeah, because I think, Chat, I'm sure will correct me if I'm wrong. I think on his stream, he said that the counter offer was like about $150,000.
That's going to be, it's like buying a car from somebody. If you're going to make an offer and you make it too low, you're because he says in here, like at some point they quit. I think he says in his chat logs, like they quit talking after a while. It's like, yeah, because if you're down, if I say 15 million, you say 150,000, there's no point in talking. We're done negotiating, and they filed the lawsuit. This is kind of like that whole thing with P. Diddy and Cassie Ventura.
Yes.
She filed the lawsuit, and then the next day, Diddy's that check lit on fire because it got cut so fast.
And then there was evidence afterwards that he'd done a bunch of the stuff that he said, and there's his federal indictment, right? Like,
yeah, and then the video came out, and we're like, yeah. And speaking of somebody who's going away forever, he's in the same spot. He's in the same spot. This is now the world knows, and this isn't just limited to the sector or the commentary community. Like everybody's knowing. Like the news now reporting on this. All those, as I said, like the word's gone out. Everybody knows this is a problem now, and that this is an issue.
And there was also another term to, I think, Destiny's proposal, and that was that she retract her statement and they draft some sort of joint statement together. And she walked back a lot of her, what he called, like, unhinged claims or something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm unless his statement is, yes, I did it, I'm sure Pixie's not agreeing to any statement with him. I think he's in a situation where he thinks he's in a bit. He's full of himself still, and I think he thinks he can get his way out of it. He's going to galaxy brain his way out of it. He's like, I'm going to go. I'll debate the judge, and he'll have to acquit me. I just don't think he has a grasp on the reality of you're done. It's very much the downfall situation. General Steiner's not coming. General Venk can't help you. The 9th Army doesn't have enough forces to mobilize. Neither does the 12th Army. Rokossovsky hasn't circled you. That's it. It's over.
I must say, you've got a very impressive knowledge of Nazi military history. That's interesting. Very interesting to note.
But just for history in general, I love World War II history. But it's all over. It's all over. And a lot of people, in part of this, he says he's talking to his legal dudes, his legal teams. There's no way any attorney worth half a crap has not said, you really, like, especially now, has said, like, you really should look to settle. And maybe they don't really know the whole story, and he's just got a normie attorney who hasn't seen all these comments and doesn't have everything. But when Discovery rolls in, they're going to tell him, like, buddy, you need to settle. But it'll be interesting to see what his response is in the complaint. His answer is probably just going to say, like, nuh-uh, that's not true. But I don't know what else he can do. There's nothing he could challenge Pixie on. Like, if he tries, the beginning where she says, I don't have experience, like, running around screaming, well, she's a whore, that doesn't do you any good because you disseminated images and you didn't have the right to do it. And, somebody else got hacked. That's not Pixie's problem. That's your problem. You shouldn't have gave these things out to start with. So,
what about the argument that Pixie is targeting Destiny for a money reason or any other reason, and Pixie isn't then going after the person that leaked it on the Kiwi Farms, this solo character?
Well, at that point, it's already out. And maybe if she wants to go after that person, or if Destiny thinks that, because that's farther down the line. Destiny is the start of this. But for Destiny, this never would have happened. So it's like if I a 10-year-old shoots somebody with a gun that I gave him. Well, okay, yeah, we can hold other people responsible, but had I not given that kid a gun and been like, here you go, buddy, have fun with it, none of this would have ever happened. If Destiny feels like he wants to drag those parties in, he can force them to join a case if he can articulate a proper enough argument. There are ways under the federal procedure rules that you can do that. You can join parties that are necessary. I don't see how that's going to work. He's going to have to show there was a hacker. And he's never shown any proof of that. I don't know if there's any that exists. And the judge might say, "Yeah, I still don't care. No, that you're the bad guy. You stand alone." And also, you sue people who have money. You don't sue poor people. Getting blood from a stone sounds appetizing, but those attorneys aren't going to do it for free. They're going to take that money she's raised, and then they're probably going to want a chunk of the action that she recovers. But no, you go after the people with money, and Destiny's also the primary bad guy. So yeah, of course you will.
Okay. I hope you don't mind. There's just a few different questions jumping around the situation.
No, go for it. Yeah, no, trust me, it's all good.
Okay. So I guess we'll stick on this line of like kind of Destiny's response. I'm not sure if you've seen the full extent of like he was chatting in DGG about it and so on. But he also spoke about Lauren. So he's made a big deal out of Lauren De Laguna being a part of Pixie's team, so to speak, and helping to craft her statement. I mean, what relevance of that, if any, do you think is to this case?
None. I mean, that's okay. So, I guess the bigger point is Destiny. So what? Who cares about her statements? Who cares about what she's? How does this make what you did not a problem?
Right.
How does this make you treating Pixie like a piece of garbage not make you liable for the tort of inflicting emotional distress? How does any of this an excuse for you invading her privacy and leaking these pictures out there and these videos out there? None of that excuses it. And that's what Destiny you have to show. Like, is this a defense? Is it a mitigating factor? Is this a way to show, Pixie could go out tomorrow and drown a puppy in the ocean. That doesn't change anything for what, Destiny did. I'm not saying she would. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Well, actually, that's an interesting. You've led on to another point there because it's claimed by Destiny, or he's alluding to this, that Pixie has perhaps sent him stuff of others without their consent. What would that have any impact on this?
I think there would be the idea that you could try to argue she has, unclean hands, but those are different people. And she might argue, I learned it from you, because Destiny really he was grooming these women. He's trying to get him into to his thing. And you bring him into his circle and, he woos them. And then, oh, I have this power and I have this access. And it all, like you said, there's a system to him doing this. It's a pattern that he's not the first guy to ever do this with women. Or whatever relationship people are in. It's not a brand new thing to him. So,
well, listen, again, I don't know how long you've seen my stuff for. This is difficult for me. I used to be a Destiny orbiter back in the day. Okay, so this is very, very tough for me.
I know a long time ago, but like I said, I really respect you. I really respect how watching you over time. So.
Well, no, because the thing is, when you say grooming, I have a resistance to that, and I have to think, okay, is this just some sort of latent DGG defense mode kicking in? But I think, I guess the thing is for me, is I always categorize grooming as in regards to more so children. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite a strong word. But I think I can see what you mean. It's like there's a system at play, bringing people in, they come on stream, there's a sexual relationship.
We can say it. He Harvey Weinstein these women basically. He brought him in and tried to do we all know apparently the consent issue is a consent issue for Destiny. He has consent accidents apparently. If everything Pixie says is right, it looks like there's an issue with him not understanding you can't do this. But he does. He uses his power. He uses his prestige. And I know you're not this, but people, Vosh would love this because Destiny's using his power in a position of power, and it's all about power and who controls the power. And this is really one of them. And sure, he sweet talked these women. It's like, oh, I love you. You're great. You're cool. I'm just a silly little gooner. And he used all of that and then took advantage of it. I mean, this, manipulating women like this. He's not the first guy to do this.
No, sure. Just on a side note, with your own perspective on this,
Mhm.
are there like debates where you've had like very fractious disagreements with Destiny that like people might try and point to say, well, you're biased against Destiny, you hate the guy?
I've never been on with Destiny, so
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot of things we disagree about fundamentally on a political level and maybe philosophical level, but you know, I mean, like, I'm sure he likes drinking water. I like drinking water. He likes oxygen. I like oxygen. I'm assuming he likes cats and dogs. I like cats and dogs. So there's some common ground.
Sure. And this is okay, this is something that I really as I've tried to wrangle my head around as a fucking layman.
Mhm.
But it's like this idea of you can't talk about something, right? To me seems absurd on the face of it because celebrities will always deny wrongdoing if they're accused of something, I feel like,
Mhm.
without question. Neil
Yeah.
Gaiman did it and other examples. Like, what is the story there? And how does it fit into how Destiny's claimed that himself?
What do you mean as far as like Destiny not talking about something?
Well, okay, so just to lay out a bit more. So Destiny has said at points, I
Mhm.
can't talk about this because it could negatively impact my legal case, but seemingly has
Mhm.
spoken about it repeatedly.
Yes.
And I'm
As
guessing,
an attorney,
yeah, go on.
yeah, I mean, any attorney worth his salt's going to tell you you better have lips like a statue. Do not talk about this. And Destiny's done. If I was Destiny's attorney, I'd be like, you got the Trump stuff. Run yourself ragged over Trump. Just keep ignoring it. Do not talk about it. It's the best answer for him. But he can't. He's already talked about it a ton as the situation has unfolded. But yes, from here on out, he should really shut up and not talk about it anymore. Talking about it will not help him. He's not going to talk his way out of it. All he's going to do is make it worse. And at best, it has no effect, but that's going to be really that's the best case scenario. The more likely scenario is he's not going to help himself. And the more you talk, those are now more things that her attorneys, they get the download, they can hold on to. And Destiny tries to goes, I never said that. Play. And then this is what you just said. And now he's going to have to explain that. So that's why you don't talk about it. The more you talk, the more, our job is to figure out how to use your words against you if we can.
Sure. Can you just explain this discrepancy? Because you're saying that a legal person will say, don't speak on this. But then,
Mhm.
like, say, Neil Gaiman releases a statement
Mhm.
and says, I've never done anything non consensually. So, how does that spin out?
I'm sure he probably cleared that through PR and a legal team.
Right.
But he's also not online or he's not in the media all the time. Like he's not talking all the time. Like Destiny talks 5-6 hours a day,
Right.
every day. And there's if it's a limited thing, that's sometimes, but even then, a lot of attorneys will say, sorry, we're not saying nothing. Sometimes that's a better idea. But for somebody like him, PR might be involved and they might have their own ideas, but there's no guarantee that's the right answer either. I mean, I've never had to deal with somebody that big, but I always tell my clients, like, just shut up. You gain nothing by talking. The people who believe you are going to believe you. The people who don't believe you aren't going to read that statement and go, oh, well, he said he didn't do it. I guess he didn't do it. Like, no, that's never going to convince anyone.
Sure. So from your perspective, then, as a legal expert, you would say that it's unlikely that the legal team are going to be satisfied or happy with how he's talking about this.
I mean, I'm sure they probably. Well, that's assuming he has a legal team. I mean, what does he have? Who knows? I mean, that's the bigger thing there. He says he's talking to his team. I mean, are you really? Like, that's the other issue. Because I can't imagine any attorney who's watching this and saying, "Oh, this is good." Because watching him talk about this is terrifying. If I'm trying to defend him.
That's interesting actually, because there's one point in his recent, like yesterday's stream, when he spoke about this a bit more, and I think he said something like, "I've gone with a more aggressive legal team." Like, does that mean anything to you?
I mean, he may have tried to get some attorneys who are like hard chargers and fire breathers. But we'll go online to the Pacer filings, because that's the federal court stuff. I'll send you a link. I don't know if you've ever used it before. You can find the federal court thing where everything that gets put, it's all done electronically. So the day it happens, it's up. We'll see if an attorney enters an appearance because he's got 21 days to respond from the 18th. In between that time, if he retains counsel, they'll enter their appearances. So we'll know if he's got a legal team. We'll know what's going on. But right now, I'm assuming he's probably full of shit. I don't think he's got legal team because I just can't imagine it at this point.
I mean,
I mean, maybe
that sounds insane. I mean, but I don't know. It's
wouldn't be he wouldn't be the first guy. I mean, to be fair, when Pixie said I'm going to get legal counsel, I thought, don't talk about it, be about it. Everybody says they're going to sue somebody, and clients are like, "Oh my god, they said they're going to sue me." I'm like, nothing you can do till they do it. So right now, until they do it, they're just talking shit, and then sometimes they do, and then a lot of times they don't. And I kind of thought, honestly, I thought Pixie was going to pull a Keffels and just off into the wind with the money. Like, oh yeah, I guess I'll sue him. I'll get to it, and that never happened either. So, I mean, I think that's what a lot of people are expecting. I think that's what Destiny was hoping. And Pixie decided to, do what she thought was right. And I'm glad she did it because I can only imagine if there's 15 that have come forward, how many more are out there? How many more don't even realize it happened to them?
There's actually another clue to your little theory here. And that is that at one point, Destiny says something like, his legal team or lawyers didn't expect Pixie to file a lawsuit. I mean, is that a reasonable expectation from like a legal perspective, do you think? Or was that a bit short-sighted, naive?
I don't think it's wrong to think that that's impossible. But yeah, there's like, you're kind of stuck though. Until it happens, they said they're going to sue me. I mean, it's very much, you get amped, like you have to wait till they launch the attack. So there's a lot of times where it's just don't make things worse. And then if they attack you, then we'll respond. But there's not a whole lot you can do till she starts, loosening arrows at you. Which, I mean, ultimately that's really just the nature of it. It's, she gets to throw the first punch.
Sure. Okay. This is something that Mario kind of briefly mentioned because I actually spoke. Mario helped me out tremendously with something previously in regards to a DMCA thing, which I'm very appreciative of.
Sure, yeah.
But he sort of alluded to there maybe being some sort of free speech aspect, like a First Amendment thing. And I'm wondering, is that an interference with some of these statutes that are governing this revenge porn stuff, or?
So the federal statute and the state statute, they pretty much mirror each other. There could be some First Amendment concerns there. But for Destiny, let's wipe those off the map because there's 5 counts. We'll get rid of count 1 and count 2 of the complaint. Fine. He intentionally inflicted emotional distress on a woman. He violated her privacy. And what's the 5th one? What's the 5th thing he did? But the common law torts, the ones that are not statutorily listed, so that don't have a statute next to them, anything that's the later ones are just common law torts. Those are just regular offenses recognized at common law. Those don't have issues of free speech. You have no First Amendment right to intentionally inflict emotional distress on someone. There is no First Amendment issue about violating someone's privacy and publishing private material. So even if he gets rid of those first 2, the common law torts are going to be the ones where he's going to get taken to the cleaners anyway. And I could see that, but that's going to be, once again, he beats 2 of the 5 charges. Well, then he's going to get his boots nuked off when it comes to the last 3. So winning that fight and fighting a constitutional fight doesn't help you if you can't win all the way. That's why he's really going to have to settle. There's no way he wins this or comes out on top, absent the jury full of 12 people having a stroke all at once and accidentally forgetting what happened.
Sure. Just to be clear as well, obviously, I've made a lot of commentary about how egregious Destiny's behavior is, but from a legal perspective, what is it specifically about Destiny's behavior that makes you so certain with the emotional distress claims? Because they seem quite kind of abstract. What makes you so certain about that?
I mean, so the idea that you intentionally are inflicting emotional distress, your intent can be discerned obviously from your own statement. So you're like, yes, I intended to do this, but your actions reveal your intent. And if you act in a way where it's a reasonable person would foresee this happening, your intent can be presumed. Well, he does all this, the things get leaked, he starts talking about the hacker, he starts going after her. Those are things where he's going to, especially if Destiny can't show there's a hacker, which I'm betting there wasn't a hacker. Now he's lying about it. He's saying he didn't do all this. He's done everything he can to harass and terrorize this woman. It's basically been wanton behavior by him. The level of, it's not even reckless. It's just straight up malicious behavior. Your actions, you can't intentionally cause people this type of stress and harm to their mental psyche. I mean, you're not allowed to do that. It's, this is far beyond like it's a joke, bro. And that's what he's done here. He's no second has he shown any bit of I'm sorry. He's not shown any bit of that. Completely recalcitrant the whole time. And that's what's going to get him. That's what's going to get him here. Is his actions before, during, and then after. Because notice they talk about after the leak or after the leak became known, his actions there go to show his state of mind and his intent. It's not just up to that point, it's everything after it as well. And what he does going forward is going to be part of that too. So if he starts really becoming unhinged, that's all fodder for the lawsuit.
Sure, and there's actually a lot of people mentioning this in chat. What about this concept, in regards to just focus on Pixie for a second? What about this claim or this argument that Pixie is engaging or has engaged in extortion off the back of the suicidality statement? Is there any merit or weight there?
I mean, she's not really, because like if this happened to me, like I can understand she might want to commit self-harm. This is really bad. This is really awful. This is ruined her. And to get a jury to sit there and look at her and say like, she tried to shake this guy down for a couple bucks because of him being a complete, reprobate. That's really not going to sell too much for the jury, because she's entitled to say, give me money or I'm going to file a lawsuit. I mean, you have the right to try to, shake someone down for money before you file. That's not an issue there. And also at that point, she was still right. He was still wrong. So I don't think that's really going to get him anywhere as far as he wants to go. I don't see that's, oh, she tried to suicide bait me. It's like, okay, so
Yeah,
you still admit it was wrong, and she wouldn't be suicide baiting or feeling like she had to, harm herself if you hadn't have done what you did.
On top of that as well, another thing that I've been pointing out is there's a message where he, I believe, admits to causing psychological damage. I mean, that would seem to be a very kind of egregious thing to defend a case against, if you've admitted to having caused harm, right?
Well, yeah, he recognized it, because it means where you're talking about, well, I'll pay for therapy or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines,
yeah. So at least he's recognized what his actions have wrought. And that shows, that you can also use that as an argument of, oh, well, I guess I did cause her problems. Well, that's another, you're willing to, very much in the same way, remedial measures. So, for example, if you fall down a set of stairs because they weren't built properly, and the next day somebody's come in and rebuilt the stairs for like a business, well, that's an act that shows like, oh God, we really messed up. We need to fix that. A Destiny situation, that just shows he understood, and if he knew he messed her up and then he continues to do all this stuff afterwards, then that really shows he doesn't care.
Okay, yeah.
Everything he said so far, there's nothing he said so far that helps him.
Well, I think from a legal perspective, I would obviously, I agree. I'd probably say, well, you're very likely to be right about that. But I think from a PR perspective within his own community, I think it's beneficial. I think he's trying to spin a story that people close to him will believe, that what like him will believe. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, no. I totally get that. You've got your foot soldiers, you've got your people there. I know, I mean, they call themselves that, but yes, you're going to try to maintain the hug box as long as you can. You want the hug box strong, you want it reinforced, you want those people there that not only will they keep chat clean and they'll attack people who come in, but they'll go forth. And obviously he's not wanting, like he's telling them to do this, but they'll go forth and spread the gospel that, oh, Pixie's wrong, Cherry's wrong, Lav's wrong, Lauren De Laguna's wrong. Yes, he wants that. And yeah, you're going to hold on to what you have, because if this all goes away, he's got nothing. So yeah, of course he's going to hold on to it the best he can. And it, but I said this last night at Kino Casino, as I had time to think about it. this tells you this is more revealing about Destiny and his community than it is about anybody else. Because his community isn't going, wait, this is actually pretty bad. No, they're just like, they're like every mom, they're like everybody's mom. My baby didn't do nothing wrong. And even though he's standing there with a bloody knife in his hand, like, it's, they will find no way to fault Destiny, and they will be there till the very end. Like you said, they're like guys holding on to the very end. They won't stop. And that tells you more about the people in DGG than, and it's a very revealing thing for them that they won't even for the half a second think, are we the bad guys here? And for a lot of them, they might revel in the idea. I don't really know.
Okay, another thing I think you noticed is this kind of discrepancy where you've got Jane Doe, referred to as Pixie in the document, obviously making it clear who it is. So what's the purpose of the Jane Doe then? Why even have that?
Because like what Pixie does have, her name being out there, her actual name. Because normally the idea is, Destiny has the right to know who's suing him. So, for example, in the Trump lawsuits that are going forward right now, the one with a bunch of FBI agents getting fired, they sued as Jane Does and John Does because they don't want to reveal who they are. They're worried about further retaliation. Also, let's say they win their lawsuit and they're reinstated back to their jobs. Well, it's not just them, it's a bunch of people. So they don't want to get highlighted as the bad guy or somebody who could be singled out for any ill treatment. Well, just the same way, Pixie doesn't, she doesn't need everybody to know where she lives. And in Destiny's situation, he already knows who she is. It's not like it's a random person. And should this go to trial, she's not going to sit there with like a hood over her head so you can't see her. And she'll talk through like a voice modulator. She'll be there. And at some point, Pixie's name probably will become public knowledge as part of the lawsuit. But at the beginning, you are allowed to do some anonymity. It's a common thing. The P. Diddy lawsuits, there's a bunch of Jane Does. Because at that point, it doesn't matter that their identity is known. It's, getting the complaint going. And then as the case progresses, we might have to remove it. But also, if it turns out that they could show Destiny's people are absolutely psychotic, she might be entitled to further protection for longer in the case.
See, that's interesting because another element of Destiny's behavior that's been picked up on is the fact that in his recent statements, he seems to have taken to calling Pixie by her first actual name.
Oh, he has? I wasn't aware of that. Oh, that's more intentional infliction of emotional distress, disclosing private acts, that's retaliation. Like that's, if you're trying to say, look, I'm just a good guy, I didn't mean to do anything, why are you telling everybody your name? Nobody knew her name till you told everyone. So that's not going to help. That doesn't, because your goal is to look sympathetic to a jury. Look, I didn't mean to do it. Look, I'm just a lovable gooner, huh? And instead you're doing all this. Nobody's going to see you as a nice guy. They're going to see you as an absolute horrible human being.
Well, yes.
And that's all he can do is convince a jury that he's a good guy.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because a lot of his commentary on this recent stream, good react fodder, by the way, if you're looking for some more Destiny hate content, okay? But at one point, he's talking about how, well, you see, guys, the reason I didn't speak out about this is because Pixie has expressed she's suicidal, so I was concerned about that, and I wanted to give her room to navigate her statement and didn't want to pigeonhole her by talking about her publicly. That seems to be his new, I guess, cope, I would call it.
It sounds nice. It sounds like he's being a good guy, and then he says, now that that's over, here's what I really think is what he's pretty much done. So, yeah, it sounds great, but that's more of just that manipulative, trying to come like anybody watching and say, oh, that's how, if you don't know much about Destiny, say he's pretty reasonable, and then you might not watch the rest of what he says right after that. As soon as he takes another breath, and I'm sure that sounds also really good to the Taliban. I'm sure that Destiny's great. He's being nice. He's giving her space. He uses all the words. He's giving her space, time to process. Letting her get her truth or her story or her message out. It all sounds good because that's the language they use. It's the language they speak, and it's all garbage. But to them, it sounds, it makes them nod their head and feel good. So I think that's more of just his own. I think that's like you said. I think it's more soothing his own community.
Okay. I think that was kind of my main interested points in the stuff. If you've got time, I don't want to take up too much time. If people got questions in the audience, is that okay to spend like 10 minutes on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I had some stuff set for this afternoon that got canceled, so I got some free time.
Sure. Okay. Well, just let me know if you really need to go. Well,
Yeah. No, I'm good right now.
okay. And I just want to say, chat. Okay, this has obviously been a great chat. I don't want to ruin it by getting super hard into politics. Okay, because we don't need to do that right now. That's for another day, right?
Yeah, no, and it's true. And if you ever have, I mentioned this to your producer, but like if you have questions about stuff, be happy to always, if you have questions offline, you can chat and I'll answer them for you or whatever too. If you'd rather do that way. Oh, somebody's saying, "What's my mug say?" It's my thing. I say is just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. So.
Okay. Well, in fact, while we're waiting for questions to come in, I've got a question about that because, and I listen, I'm a fucking layman, but I shoot from the hip and say shit and hope that I'm right sometimes, okay? Is it not true that a lot of the, like, when someone is, I know that you've a big anti-government, like, they're fuckers and they'll fuck you over.
Yeah.
Isn't it true, though, that a lot of the time, when someone is in a jail cell, it's because they've committed the crime?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, yes, and the main reason why people are in trouble is because they told on themselves. A lot of there's another attorney who does stuff. His name's Bruce Rivers. He calls it self-snitching. People talk to the police, they make comments to other people, or they do stupid things like they forget to wear gloves when they handle a gun, or as I had a guy do one time, he forgot to pull a ski mask down before he walked into a convenience store with a shotgun. You do, and then when it's on HD picture and the police put it up on the Facebook page, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And within 30 seconds, somebody says, "Oh, that's Tim," and like 500 people like it, and a bunch of people say, "Yeah, that's my cousin." Most of the time, people are there because they did it, but that doesn't mean there's enough people there that didn't do it or did something else. Not what they've been accused of, or they may have done a lesser thing than what they've been accused of. That it's a lot more than one. It's a lot more. It's a lot more than just a random statistical anomaly.
Yeah, sure, okay. What about people that have done it, but the government's case isn't very strong?
Well, I know you're British. Do you know football at all? Like American football?
Yeah, sure.
Too much?
A bit,
Okay.
yeah. I play
So,
Madden.
yeah, okay, there you go. Perfect. So good enough. If the quarterback gets sacked, is it the linebacker's fault for sacking him? No, it's the lineman's fault for not protecting the quarterback. If the prosecutor can't convict a guy, that's not my fault that I sacked the court. Well, and some of your chat in there are my chat, and they're gonna be like, "You don't really run, Sean." But if I sack the quarterback, is it my fault? No, I did my job. They weren't able to do theirs. That's the government has a job, and if they can't do it, I mean, I've said this before. I'll use Nicholas Cruz, the guy who shot up Parkland High School here in Florida. If I was representing him and there was a way I could have him walk out the door like it never even happened, and they couldn't prosecute him, I'd do it because that's what it entails. If you called me tomorrow and said, "Sean, I've got the police are at my house, they're digging up all the 3-year-olds I murdered and put in the crawl space," and I'm like, "How many are there?" You're like, I lost count after 40. And there was a way we could suppress that evidence and they had no case against you, so be it. That's their fault. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at them for screwing up.
Yeah, it kind of plays into the narrative of often, this is not my words necessarily, Jewish lawyers playing tricks to get black criminals off of a charge, right? I mean, how true is that kind of narrative, do you think? Probably a bit much, isn't it?
I mean, okay, there are a lot of Jew lawyers. I am not a member of the tribe, so that's not an issue. Somebody was asking me if I'm Jewish. No, I am not.
Okay.
And the idea of these being tricks, I mean, tricks or technicalities. Well, no, the trick is you realize that the police violated the Constitution. So, the Fourth Amendment is a pretty if we're gonna call it a technicality, it's one of the biggest technicalities out there. The Fifth Amendment's a really big technicality. The Sixth Amendment's a really big technicality. I mean, so if you want to call them a technicality, great, but that's like a technicality the size of Mount Everest. It's a foundational technicality. So that's usually when people say those stuff or somebody got somebody off, it's like, is it really that, or do they prosecutors don't just give up. You do it because your case sucks or there's some problem. You know, like there was a technicality, yeah, or is it that, or the witness and the victims refuse to show up, or is it they don't have really good DNA evidence, or the video they have is really crappy. I mean, there's a million different reasons why cases get tossed.
Okay, I've actually got, I'm sure you're familiar with counterpoints. Massive Trump derangement syndrome, am I right?
Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Like, that guy confuses me because he's, as like Rob Nord. Do you know who Rob is?
Yes.
Okay. Like, he goes after Rob hard, and it's like somebody really needs to point out, Connor, you took their fucking money.
What?
Like, he took Progressive Victory money, right? Like, isn't that true?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, as a matter of
I mean,
fact, yes.
I mean,
I'm
that's
neutral. I'm
I mean,
Switzerland. I'm Switzerland. Okay, but
I
go on,
understand,
go
but
on.
am I incorrect? Because if it's wrong, I'll say that I'm wrong. But it's my understanding he was paid by Progressive Victory. So like when he's sitting there now talking about like, oh my God, I can't believe they're dealing with this Hassan fellow, and it's like, how, did you just now figure this out? Like, did you not know who you were getting? Like who you're rolling with at this point? But like, yeah, like no duh, shock Pikachu face moment. But yes, he has a lot of Trump derangement syndrome, and a lot of people do, and I get that because Trump's broken a lot of people's brains. Has Trump done a lot of stupid things? Sure. Has he done? And I will say this much: like Trump pardoning the January 6 people, I didn't think that was actually going to happen. I thought he was kind of just bullshitting everybody and giving lip service, but holy cow, he did it! Like I was really surprised. A lot of things he's done so far, I've truly been surprised he's actually done. I've been pleasantly surprised. Like it's like just normally because he talks about doing things, and then he acted like a moron the first term, and let Jared Kushner and Ivanka speak into his ear, and he didn't do anything. I mean, like he basically, I mean, he got cucked. He didn't do anything. He couldn't do anything. He kept on making poor personnel decisions, and he seemed to be surprised that none of his people did what he asked them to do. But he made, hired John Bolton, and you're like, oh, wait, that guy wants to go to war. How did I not know that? So,
Anyway, he wasn't even asking about Trump.
Yeah.
He just asked if.
But I'm just saying, yeah, I do think he has Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, very bad.
I'm Switzerland.
A lot
okay?
of people have.
But
what he
did,
broken a lot of people's brains.
Okay. What he did ask is if you had
Okay.
any takes about the potential criminal aspects floating, and I guess that could apply to the Cherry stuff, recording allegedly without consent, and then also the destruction of evidence stuff.
I mean, if they do anything, maybe. But the cops are going to look at this and say, like, they got a lawsuit going? Eh. I mean, like, the cops are going to sit there like, yeah, we got murders. It's Miami. So the cops in Miami are going to be like, we got murders, we got drug trafficking, we got a couple of rapes.
Lots of Latinos.
We got
yeah.
human trafficking.
Yeah.
Like, I got better things to do today. Could they do it? Yeah, we'll see.
So, yeah,
But
you're skeptical because of
maybe,
potential police inaction, basically, is what you're saying.
yeah, I mean, especially the criminal, like, because if the criminal case starts, the civil case is going to get put on hold.
Right.
Because everything Destiny does in the civil case will be admissible in the criminal case. So at that point, Destiny is going to say, well, this isn't fair. I have a Fifth Amendment right to protect myself in the criminal case. I don't want to talk. And normally you can't, that would be held against you. There'd be negative inferences drawn, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of times these civil cases get put on hold. And when they don't, you end up with things like Bill Cosby, where the prosecutor says, hey, buddy, if you tell the civil attorneys in the civil case everything they want to know, I promise not to prosecute you. And he told them everything. Yeah, I quaaluded all these women. And then the prosecutor's like, oh, good enough for me. And then they indicted him and tried to send him to prison. So that's why you have those things where once the criminal stuff starts, the civil stuff stops. But remember, those other women, Cherry said she's going to file charges. So that's a separate case. So he may not be able to stop them. He may have to deal with them both at the same time. I don't know. But like I said, the cops are going to be, this is not going to be their biggest issue. So I don't think so. I mean, the biggest, and I was a prosecutor for a little while. the last thing you want to hear as a prosecutor when you're dealing with a complaint or an investigation is, so tell me what happened. Well, it started on the internet. And you're just like, oh my God, I'm
Right.
going to, you're going to want to jump out a window
Yeah.
because that's what it's going to turn into. It's like, do you know Twitch politics? And it's like, mostly, remember, everybody else in this world, we know it. But everybody out there is a normie. So they're going to be like, no, I don't. And then you start talking, and immediately their eyes are going to gloss over. They don't want to know. They'll never want to know. They'll never want to know. I mean,
Sure.
they're just done.
Okay. More questions, guys. Come on. There's more questions. You're getting too obsessed with shitting on counterpoints right now, and I don't like that. So stop doing that. The other thing I'll ask you off the back of it, though, is a lot of kind of commentary I've seen from maybe people that are more defensive Destiny is this idea that, okay, well, regardless of what you've got, it's not been like proven like beyond a reasonable doubt or something like that. Like, how would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, yes, technically because it's civil court, it's the 51% standard. The way I try to explain to people, probable cause, what you need for a search warrant, is like you're like 25% sure. We're kind of sure something happened. At like the 51% threshold, more likely than not, is the preponderance of evidence. That's what a civil case requires. Beyond a reasonable doubt, it's like 90% sure. You're about as sure as you can be within reasonable limits. Yeah, it hasn't been to court, but this is where, as an attorney, like if you get charged with a crime and we get discovery, meaning all the evidence they have, yeah, we haven't been to court. It hasn't been proven by any reasonable doubt, but I'm going to sit there and say, Chud, buddy, yeah, there's video of the police walking the dog around your car. The dog hit on the car. You let them search the car, and they found 75 pounds of cocaine in the car. Yeah, that hasn't been proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but it's here. I mean, yes, we haven't actually been to court, but to sit here and argue these facts aren't true and these facts aren't real, what do you want them to do to show it? Because show me these aren't real is more of the issue at that point. I'm fine with if we didn't have any of this, I'd say we need more facts. We don't know anything. But in this situation, it's actually very much like Nick Rekieta.
Right.
Like, everybody's like, well, how do you know? Like, I watched him do coke, and then they raided his house, like, almost immediately, and they found cocaine. You're like, what more are you looking for? This is no different. Like, we have all the evidence that he did the thing. If we get all the way to court, like, those people are not going to change their mind. If they're going to be honest about it, because those are literally the things, Exhibit 1. And, they'll get Destiny and they'll get Discord to say, is this authentic logs? Yes, all this stuff happened as it occurred. And Destiny's admitting he already sent stuff to Rose. Oh, look, we have a thing saying showing Destiny sending something to Rose. So the evidence is there. Like, the idea that it hasn't been proven, well, yeah, we haven't had the trial yet, but are these people going to tell you, well, this isn't authentic? Like, and that's the thing. Tell me it's inauthentic. Tell me there's problems with the chain of custody. Tell me there's problems with who sees the records. Where do these records come from? Tell me if there's pixels missing. I mean, no pixie, no pun intended. But has this been photoshopped? Is this not true? Does people running around with Destiny sock accounts? Show me that, and then we can have a discussion. But to sit here and say, well, this hasn't been proven yet, I'm like, I don't know. What more do you want? Because eventually it will be proven. And this won't change things, because now those facts you were saying haven't been proven have been proven. I mean, like, if I use that method in my practice, all my clients would say, screw it, I'll go to trial, instead of like, no, we need to cut a deal. Like, it's just, I
Yeah.
get some, like, a normal person might say that as an honest thing, but a lot of people are saying that just so they don't have to take a stand and make a point.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
a lot of people are, because it's easier to say, well, I don't know, and things are happening, and it's always easier to say that than saying, my baby didn't do nothing wrong, or, oh my God, Destiny's a horrible person, and he's guilty of this. Like they caught him red-handed. So, I mean, the people out there who know and they're doing this are playing stupid, I would argue. They know better.
Yeah, it's like a kind of malicious skepticism where nothing is believed. It's just endlessly skeptical of everything that's presented.
Exactly. Like, how do you know that's true? I'm like, why would it not be true? But yeah, if there's proof to show that this stuff has been messed with, great. Let's see it.
Yeah. And also, I'm assuming that, like, even though it's not like burning a letter, like deleting a Discord log would be classified under the law as destruction of evidence, even if it could be recovered by the company, Discord.
Yeah. Well, it's even though you can recover it. Well, apparently my dog's being. Well, I don't know if he's being good or bad. I can't tell. The idea is you tried to delete it, and you actually did a good example of burning a letter. Burning a letter, but somebody already had another copy of it somewhere else. Well, yeah, the idea shows that, there's only two types of people who destroy evidence. Innocent, or, people who are stupid, or really malicious people. You can take your pick which one that is. Neither of those look very good to a jury. And the idea you're claiming, oh, I'm just a big old moron, that's probably not going to sell. It's going to be the idea is you're a really bad guy because we've seen you do a bunch of really bad guy stuff. Coupled with all his other actions, what's the logical intent behind his actions? You can infer, and it's that he was destroying evidence because he was malicious and he did not want to get caught or incriminate himself further.
Sure, okay. I've got a few.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, it's fine. Listen, obviously, I'm taking your word for it. I mean, if I was a lawyer, I don't know if I'd have a different angle on this. But I mean, what you're saying kind of backs up what I believe and seems to be. It kind of makes logical sense to me. I guess, the only thing I'm just kind of in the back of my mind is like, do you just fucking hate Destiny? But then it seems like you've got fairly well-reasoned views on it, so.
I mean, like, I would never want to hang out with them and stuff like that. But it's like, I mean, good people do bad things. Bad people do bad things. This is a case of somebody I don't like doing something bad. If there were defenses he'd have, certainly I would raise them. There really aren't any defenses here. I mean, if there's some sort of bombshell he can whip out, great, let's see it. But I mean, it's, even people you don't like, you're allowed to, if they've done something and they're toast, that's
okay.
I try to give the real answers, not the nice answers or the answers people want.
No, sure. Okay, so I think we can just rattle through a few more. I've got a few paid questions here, so I should probably get to these.
Yeah,
just to make sure we've got the money's worth. Okay, ask your thoughts on Hillary Clinton.
Well, I don't have information leading to her arrest. That's the first thing. Other than that, I mean, she's escaped man's justice, and I guess that's good for her. That's all I can really say about
Is
that.
Bill Clinton a pedophile?
I don't think he's a pedophile, but what he did in Arkansas, I think, shows that he probably violated a lot of women and abused a lot of women. Like, I don't think that's out of the realm of what happened there. I mean, when you read about, and this is where, as people learn about, like, what happened with Whitewater and all the other things that happened with them, all the way back to Mena, Arkansas, where if you've ever watched the movie Tom Cruise where he's trafficking cocaine, Governor Clinton got him released from police custody. Like, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there with Clinton. Going all the way back.
This question has actually caused a lot of orbiters, or some of the orbiters that have left have said this, and it's caused a bit of controversy. So, could or should Destiny be added to like a sex offenders registry?
The idea that we'd put, a sex offender registry is meant to like protect people from those we think are going to be harmful or dangerous. I don't think this is the type of case and this is the type of offense that you should be included as a sex offender. I mean, it's typically when we deal with sex offenders, they're, raping, sexually assaulting, sexually battering, offensively touching, or, doing crimes involving children, like pandering obscenities involving minors, trafficking in cheese pizza. That stuff where, we need to know who those people are. Destiny's a sex pest. I mean, that I don't think that's the way we should use the law. We've got enough dragons out there. We don't need to add more, make up more.
Sure, that's going to be a very interesting take for chat. Because, okay, I'll give you the argument of the sex offender
Mhm.
thing, that my perspective on it. I think the argument is that although it's not that egregious, it's that there's a demonstrable harm that's caused to women that reasonably other women might want to know about before they decide to participate in like sexual conduct with this person.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, though, if you're really worried about him, because if you know who he is, because you have to know who he is to go check him on a sex offender website. So you could type in Stephen Bennell and boop into Google, and it's gonna spit all this out too. So I don't think you would have. Sorry, seeing what this was. Okay, never mind. Sorry, it's not, I just make sure it was an important one. Those women, you can go check because you're gonna need to. If you don't know his name and he just walks up and starts talking to a woman, she's not gonna know that he's a sex offender. So you would have to check in. Hey, what's your name? Oh, my name's Steve Bennell. And let's say she goes home and types it in. That's what most women do these days anyway. And they're meeting people and talking to them. They'll Google them and find out.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
so like I said, the law has enough. The law is used enough. We don't need more laws. The laws we have work pretty good if we actually use them. We don't need more
Okay.
for the most part.
Well, I think that regardless of what people think about your response, it is undeniable that you're being very fair there. So
I
good
try
hear.
to be. I try to be.
Okay. Okay, dude. God, this guy in chat. He's called Baldo. He's asking for your opinion of the Baldo.
Oh God, I know. That must be somebody following me around. I'll pass on the Baldo. You're gonna have to. I can't comment on one. I've never owned one. I've never used one. You'll have to talk to Nick about the Baldo.
Okay.
That's outside my expertise.
If Pixie wants to just drag him over the coals in public by refusing any attempt to settle, can she do that regardless of the amount offered?
Yes, she can refuse every settlement offer, and I want to go to trial and win. She can go full on insult the earth. She doesn't have to accept a settlement. They can't be forced on her. The idea she would refuse it can't be used against her at trial. Certainly the courts always like settlements because that's less work for them. They already have enough work as is. So that they will probably be forced to go to a mediated settlement conference where court mediators will sit with them and say, what can we do with this? And she might say, there's absolutely nothing we could do. I want to go to trial. I will not accept anything. Or she might say, I only want $15 million. I will accept no penny less than $15 million. And Destiny's going to have to either acquiesce or, he'll say, fine, I'll see you at trial. I mean, it's, he think of it like you're trying to buy a car and you're selling it for, 5,000 pounds. And I come to you and say, hey, will you take 3? No. Okay, well, then either I have to buy your car for what you want or I have to go fuck off. And Destiny's got those two options. And like I said, she wants to drag him out over the coals, and she knows he can't pay $15 million, and she just wants him to suffer. In addition, on top of all this, and humiliate him. That is sometimes what happens in the law. Very much like in criminal cases. For example, like people engaged in like school shootings. There generally isn't a plea offer. It's like we are prosecuting you. You can either plea out to the death penalty, or we have the trial and get the death penalty. So that she doesn't have to do anything. Obviously, for her, it would be better because if she, discovery means she has to get deposed and she has to answer questions, and there's discovery for her. So she might have an interest in wanting to settle, but she might say, I've already, like, how much more worse can it get?
Okay. So yeah, just a couple more here. We'll ask like 2 more.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
And also, chat, I know people are saying Destiny's gone live. I'm not going to stream sub Destiny. I'll save that for tomorrow. You got to save a bit for later. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I look at it,
Gotta
right?
keep them waiting. Gotta keep them hungry.
Exactly. As a conservative lawyer, what are your thoughts on an ethot, or I guess, putting themselves in these positions for an opportunity at clout and payouts?
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, and I think, you are. It's very much like when people climb into the gorilla pit at the zoo and they're like, what do you mean the gorilla? Like, how was I supposed to know the gorilla was going to attack me? Not the 10-foot tall fence, the moat, and the sign saying don't do it. That still doesn't. I don't think you're assuming the risk, though, like you would if you jumped into a gorilla pit or you start playing soccer in a minefield that you know is there. Uh, at some point, yes, he might burn you, you might get embarrassed, but the idea that he would do this to people, like truly and wholly violate somebody short of like physically hurting them, I don't think that's a fair. You've assumed that risk. I don't think nobody's ever assumed that risk of associating with anybody. So, for example, you wouldn't. There's no fair way for you to say, okay, well, I've talked to Sean, so anything that happens happens. Like, no, that would be preposterous in society. We don't want that. So, yes, on a morality standpoint, yes, me on the streets, like, okay, yeah, you get what you get, suffer, to quote the great Ethan Ralph. But otherwise, no, you should have some idea that as we operate in society, people will operate to certain norms, and you should be able to expect certain norms from people. Once again, that like I said, there's Sean who's the lawyer, and then there's Sean who's the guy who walks down the street, and they're different. They're different viewpoints, but I think she deserved any of this, or she should have seen any of this coming. I don't know how reasonably foreseeable it would be that he's a complete monster. He might be he might be a turd, okay, but I don't know. I don't know how reasonably foreseeable any of this really would have been.
Yeah, and also I think that people are missing the point of this as well. Of like, if Pixie is to be believed in the statement, it's that Destiny presented himself, and lines up with his public statements of being someone that is very good on consent and pre-confirmed consent and pre-agreeing things and stuff like that. So to me, it's more so like you're at the zoo and there's a sign that says, cute animals, you can come and play with them and they won't bite you.
Yeah.
And you go in there and they bite you, and
Mhm.
it's been stated that they're not going to bite you and they're very safe to interact with. Well, I mean, in that case, is it really reasonable
Yeah.
that you thought it was going to be safe?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, because let's say it's not Destiny. Let's say it's just he's Steve the guy. He's not Destiny the streamer. And she meets a guy and they start talking and they get together and they do some canoodling, and he takes these pictures and he saves them and starts spreading them around everywhere, and it gets out all over the world. I mean, at some point, we do have to have that trust in each other, and it's not unreasonable to say like, okay, well, this guy I'm hanging out with, I have to give him some trust, because if there's no trust, it's like, well, that would be unreasonable too. Especially if he said, I'm not giving off sketchy vibes, I'm not acting in a sketchy way. Yeah. Now, going forward, yes, any woman who, gets into bed with Destiny or deals with Destiny, I got no sympathy for you. But up to this point, these women didn't know about each other really. I would think I don't think everybody really knew. As of now, though, yeah, it seems like a lot knew, but I don't think Pixie knew. I mean, and like it says, it goes all the way back. This goes back years. So at some point, not everybody knew, and yeah, as everybody's now learning, yeah, I think most people are on notice, but that's not what the law is really operating on.
Sure. I mean, I think, damn, I feel like we've got into everything there, which I appreciate. The one final thing that I want to ask you before we wrap this up, okay? I've got to be honest with you. The libtards, they got me a bit worried, okay, with some of this commentary about Trump, about some of his statements, about he who saves the country does not violate the law and things like that. So, as someone that maybe is more Trump-sided, like, what would you say to me to kind of, reassure me
Well,
that
I
things
mean,
aren't that bad?
I mean, like, here's the thing: if it gets to that point, I'll be sitting there helping you cook up IEDs and start loading magazines. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. I don't think it's even close to being there. Do I think Trump, found the Constitution lying in the gutter and he plucked it up with the tip of his golf club? Sure. Do I think he's setting himself up to be a king? No. Most of the stuff he's doing right now is just the logical trajectory of executive power basically since George Washington was president. I mean, every president has pushed the limits of executive power more and more and more and more. Thomas Jefferson bought the Louisiana Purchase. He never had permission for that. They wanted to impeach him for that. We have FDR doing what he did. We have Harry Truman seizing a steel mill during the Korean War. We have Richard Nixon saying if the president does it, it's not illegal. apparently Congress begged to differ, and that's why he had to quit. But we also have to the point of Obama. I have a pen and a phone. Also the idea he could just drone strike American citizens all over. And it's like, oh, oops, including multiple children from an American citizen. This is just the progression of it, and then Trump doing things, and then Biden did stuff, and now Trump is just building off of that. This is the culmination, and if Trump obviously can't run again, but JD Vance runs and loses, and whoever takes over from there is going to do even more and is going to reverse all the things Trump did. So now it's not even, we're going to use more executive power to fix the problems, and there's going to be, it's the president, like, this is not anything new. There's a lot of things that he's going to do that I think a lot of people are, I think are going to be protected. A lot of his, and the funny thing is, a lot of the Supreme Court, I think, is going to support him, not just the conservative wing of it. I think he's going to get a lot of the court, recognizing that a lot of these lower level things have been assaults on the system, and there's integrity issues regarding that. But I will say, like, the other stuff that's going on, the stuff of Europe, he warned them in 2018, you guys got to get your shit together. And now he came back in 2025 and they still haven't got their shit together. There's a lot of things here that people are panicking, and it's like, well, maybe he's got a method here. Maybe, the idea is, and this is where, as an attorney, I've tried to really work on this. You always have to be willing to say, maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I am wrong. But all the people who are worried about Trump's doing, you need to sit there and say, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm not understanding what we're doing here? What if all this stuff does have a purpose? What if everything that's going on one way or another, what if we've been looking at it wrong? And, some of it might be right. He could certainly turn into a disaster. I don't know. I mean, if it's wrong, it's wrong. Great. And if he does turn into Hitler, great. I'll get to live up the dream of, like, when the feds come to my door, it'll be like, today's the day. Like, I'm just saying, like, that'll be it. And if that happens, great. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to deal with that. So that I guess that's where I'm at with it.
No, that's fine. I
don't
mean,
see
people
how-
in chat are getting very
Yeah.
upset with you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to have like a political
understand.
debate, right? But
no. I'm just saying.
I need
ultimately,
you-
That's why I think.
No, that's fine. When are you going to hash this
I'll
out
tell
with
you-
like a libtarded lawyer like Pisco? When is that happening?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't see the point arguing with Pisco because, like, before like the spring of 2024, I really appreciated the arguments Pisco would raise. I thought we disagreed, but I thought they were well reasoned and they were well supported. But now the idea, like, okay, I'll tell people when it's time to panic. Like, I'll tell people when it's time to start loading magazines, and like, if you really think like this idea, oh my God, Trump's a horrible fascist, like. Okay, if he is that, if he's all these horrible things, there's really only one way to sort that out. Hitler didn't go away by mean tweets. Like, if you're talking about it's the, we're dealing with that moment, there's only one way to handle that moment. And that's why when people say that, I don't like that, because even on the left or the right, everybody who thinks it's time to jump, it's time to get down, time to get froggy, whatever you prefer to say it. Everybody thinks that's the case. Everybody has main character syndrome. Everyone thinks they're going to be, they're going to be Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead. No, you're going to be some guy whose head got eaten, sitting in your car somewhere. That's what's going to happen. So everybody who thinks it's this way, I'm like, no, it's pretty chill. Like, everybody's freaking out. And it's like, this isn't that bad. This really isn't that much of a difference. Was Biden Hitler? No. Was Obama Hitler? No. Is Trump Hitler? No. Was Bush Hitler? Okay, maybe Cheney was. But Bush Hitler? No. I think everybody's panicking, and it's like, I'll tell you guys when it's time to panic. And we are far from that point. And also at the end of the day, Trump's kind of retarded. And if he's Hitler, he's, what better thing than to have a half-retarded Hitler instead of like a really smart Hitler?
Sure.
Like I said, I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
So,
it's
I just think
fine.
people need to chill.
No, that's fine. I'm not sure if I'm completely reassured, but like I said, I just wanted a little bit of your kind of insight into that.
No.
We'll look to wrap it up there. Listen, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for giving me your insights into this. I very much
sure.
appreciate it. And anything else you want to say?
No. I do a live show every Thursday night. So tonight, 9:30 Eastern. I know it's already past 9 where you are, but
Yeah. No worries. I'll link the channel.
yeah. So thanks. I appreciate it, Chud. Have a good one.
Pleasure. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.